Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming, the new family of EC polymer notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps have shapes.
Good morning, everyone. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this week's post-cabinet press briefing. To the members of the media in the room, thank you so much for being here this morning. And to our viewers, listeners on radio, television, social media, thank you as always for tuning in. This morning, we are going to be talking about developments within the Ministry of Youth and Culture. We have with us the Minister for Youth Affairs, the Honorable Kate Lewis, and the Minister for Youth, Sports, Culture and the Arts, Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox. We know that Carnival is in the air, so we will be getting some further updates on that. Senator Cox was here with us last week, but there are further things with Carnival imminently approaching, so he will be providing some more updates with respect to that. And the Ministry of Youth Affairs has been very active. A number of programs are currently ongoing. So Minister Lewis will be updating us on that as well. On what has become a very topical issue in the news in the past week, and something I'm sure there are many questions about, I will say that government is continuing to look into the situation. We have already taken action to remove persons who are no longer eligible for inclusion on government's cell phone plan. Some of them, I will say, have opted to keep their numbers, but have assumed immediate responsibility for their bills. We are continuing to engage with the service provider, Digicel, with a view to examining cost in some instances and to determine possible reductions in charges based on the cap that exists with respect to all persons who are included on government's plan. In terms of the way forward, we have also been in communications with the persons who are no longer eligible for government's plan and who would have had high bills to let them know that the monies will have to be repaid, but that government is willing to work with them on the details for that. In terms of the way forward as well, we are currently reviewing government's draft cell phone policy to ensure that it adequately addresses cell phone usage and the responsibilities of persons who are eligible for cell phones. I will also just want to repeat some of the pronouncements that we would have made on the matter. Minister Oliver Joseph was here on post-cabinet brief last week, and he noted that the cell phone matter has raised the issue for greater accountability with respect to access to government cell phones and usage, and as indicated, we are working on that. And Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, just this past weekend at a town hall meeting in Montreal, Canada, where he was for the second annual Spice Cultural Day celebration, he would have responded to a question on the cell phone matter, and he did indicate that government has accepted full responsibility, but he also noted that there is culpability on the part of the accounting officers in the public service, as well as the service provider, Digicel, for instituting the agreed upon cap. So the investigation into the matter is continuing. So that is all that we can say on this matter at this time. We will now go into the focus of this morning's press briefing, and I will invite Senator the Honourable Nolan Cox to have an opening statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Press Secretary, to all our viewers via media personnel and media institutions here this morning. A pleasant morning and welcome. This morning, the Ministry of Culture is somewhat heartened by the passing of one of our fellow veteran Calypsonians, which is Mr. Lincoln John, better known as the Bubbler. We have learned of his illness for some weeks now, and we were following closely, and because we knew that he was planning to get back in Carnival season this year, and so we are somewhat saddened by that. He would have made some immense contribution towards the development of Calypso in particular in Grenada. He worked a lot with the tents, and the tent in St. Patrick's in particular, the Black Roots Calypso tent. And that is a tent that he would have managed and worked with for a number of years. And of course, his contribution will be invaluable towards the development of Calypso in Grenada. And we, on behalf of the government of Grenada, of course, the Prime Minister, who was also very saddened by the news when he heard it, we want to express our condolences to his family, and also in particular our colleague, member, cabinet colleague, Honorable Pamela Moses, who is the sister of Lincoln John. We want to continue to update the public on how we're moving forward with Spice Mass Carnival. This is one of our prize cultural events, and we know that we just concluded our prelims. We want to thank all our stakeholders, patrons who came out and support the prelims for Groovy and Soca. We had some challenges with the weather, but of course, God's plan is not man's plan, so we have to work with it. However, we are getting ready for the Calypso tent, which commences this evening. The first tent that will be judged from this evening will be Comancheros at the St. Paul's Community Center. Moving forward, on Thursday, the 18th, Roots tent will be judged at Malmonk Big Yard. On Friday, the 19th, Northwest tent, that's at Dragons Bay. That's where they're judging. Kaiso Bars at Deluxe Cinema on Saturday the 20th. Kaiso Kingdom at Natural Walks. That will be on Sunday the 21st. And Fireworks at Deluxe Cinema on Monday the 22nd of July. So that is the list of the venues and the tents that will be judged starting from today going into Monday of next week. As you know, in competition, there are always challenges when it comes to adjudicating. And Spice Mass, we have listened to a number of concerns, suggestions from all our stakeholders regarding the judging aspect. Hence the reason why we have taken a more strong approach in terms of how we try to approach the adjudication process. And we had a training from our judge, chief judge from Trinidad, Mr. Hugh Grant, who came and did a 2-day training workshop, as previously to normally you would have a 1-day judges workshop. He had a 2-day training workshop, basically not just theoretical but also practical. So that in itself is something very instructive, in that persons were given an opportunity to look at a live, a past recorded March Gras event, and actually were asked to judge based on the performances. So there were practical sessions as well. Coming from that, we decided to take some other approaches together with the Calypso Association's recommendations from them backward and forward based on our suggestions. And we have decided to use 5 judges for each stages of the competition. So 5 judges for all 10s, and next set of 5 judges for the semis, and a different set of judges for the finals. So we would not be using the same judge. The judge that has been used at the 10th level would not judge at the semifinals, and the judge who judged at the semifinals would not be judging at the finals. So that is one of the first things that we have agreed on. We were back and forth with the numbers, but we finalized on 5 judges. One of the things that we also try to do is to implement a process on how the judges are to be selected. Obviously, of course, you would have to go through the training, and we had asked the consultant who did the training to do some scoring as well, to do some assessment based on person's performance throughout the training workshop. And so we took a decision to empanel a three-man panel that will be used to select the judges. So Spicemas in itself, or no individual or the CEO, would not be the one selecting the judges. And we have asked 3 persons who will vet the judges and make recommendations to SMC who the judges should be for the various events. So that is the approach that we'll be taking going forward for Spicemas 2019. We think that this is critical, it's important that we have a process where that we can get persons who have the experience, have the knowledge, to look at the various judges, vet them to ensure their capacity, and a number of other things, a number of other criteria that we are looking at before somebody can be selected to judge. Added to that, we have asked Mr. Hugh Grant to return again. So he's going to be supervising the whole judging process. He's going to oversee everything, both at the semis and at the finals. So he'll be to ensure that everything goes as it's supposed to, no interference, a high level of transparency. So he's be here to manage that process. Additionally, we are going to have auditors from a reputable auditing firm who will be present at the judging to deal with tabulation to ensure that the judging process is done in a fair and transparent manner. So basically, we believe that this component of the competition is critical. We believe that if it's not done properly, it can hurt the product, and we want to ensure that persons feel comfortable that when they come and they perform, that their judging will be done in a fair manner. And so, as I indicated, there are a number of things that we are working on. There are a number of other issues that we're still working with our stakeholders. Small details that we're trying to work out, but in a nutshell, this is where we are, and this is what it's going to be in terms of the adjudication for the Calypso and Soca and Groovy for Spicemas 2019. So this basically is what we wanted to update the public on as regards to Spicemas right now. As we continue to have more information, we're going to update you accordingly. But at this time, we just want to share some update on the adjudication process. We think that is critical. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Cox. We go immediately to Minister Kate Lewis. The Ministry of Youth Affairs is quite active. We know that youth represent the future of the nation, and this administration is very committed to ensuring that we engage our young people and provide them with the necessary opportunities that will allow them to make valid contributions to the growth and development of this society. Minister Lewis.
Thank you very much, Press Secretary, and let me say a special good morning, first of all, to my colleague members of Cabinet, to all of you, the media personnel, members of the Division of Youth who are here present, all those listening via radio, watching via television or social media. Good morning again to everyone. The Ministry of Youth Development is very active as we have the responsibility to ensure that our youthful population are actively engaged as we seek to build capacity, prepare them for work, create entrepreneurs, and to prepare our future leaders. For the past week, we had a very active time. First of all, I would report on the Thai Speech Festival just concluded. The Thai Speech Festival held in collaboration with the members of Team Action International Incorporated and UNICEF. The festival took place last week from July 9th to 12th and engaged over 70 participants daily. Although we catered for 30 persons, because of the interest, the participants' numbers grew as the days rolled on. The members were involved in poetry workshops, debating workshops, public speaking workshop, a Global Com Summit, Activate Talk, and a Gender Equality Speak-Off. On conclusion of the festival, the members of Team Action International Inc. and also UNICEF had high commendations for the success of the festival. They were very impressed with the level of preparation from the part of the Ministry of Youth Development, the level of collaboration, and also the readiness of the participants and the urge to participate in the different activities. They have indicated that this Thai Speech Festival in Grenada, held for the first time, was one of the best. They did the festival in Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, even Canada. But thus far, Grenada seems to have had the most successful Thai Speech Festival. Concluding the Thai Speech Festival on Friday was the National Youth Parliament, the second sitting of the National Youth Parliament. And we were happy to include the National Youth Parliament as part of the Thai Speech Festival because it gave the members of Team Action International Inc. and also UNICEF to see what we do with the National Youth Parliament. As a result of that, they have indicated or pledged their support for the National Youth Parliament going forward. So I would report on the National Youth Parliament now. We have started the Parish Youth Parliament, and thus far, the St. Andrew Youth Parliament is completed. Last week, Wednesday, we saw the St. Patrick Youth Parliament, and they debated on the topic, the National Health Insurance. Next week, on July 25th, at the Corinth Government School, we will have the St. David's Parish Youth Parliament. As indicated before, the second sitting of the National Youth Parliament took place last Friday, and this sitting wraps up the National Youth Parliament for this year. The National Youth Parliament will run twice during the year, in January and July. It gives the participants the opportunity to participate at the National Parliament for 2 sittings. From the first National Youth Parliament, the best debater, Mr. Neilon Franklin, left for Trinidad this morning to participate in the 15th Regional Youth Parliament as a member of the opposition. He accompanies the Speaker of the House, Mr. Michael Pear, and Senator Katisha Williams, who will be at the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association 44th Regional Conference. We know that Mr. Neilon Franklin will represent us well out there in Trinidad. I will now move on to the National Summer Program. And this program, we have decided as a ministry that we have to continue to engage our youthful population even when school is on holidays. So from July 22nd to August 1st, 2019, we will have the National Summer Program. There will be one in every constituency, one center in every constituency for the children ages 10 to 16. The aim of the National Youth Parliament is to ensure that our students can communicate well with each other, improve their literacy skills, their communication skills, to realize their civic responsibilities, to get themselves involved in sports, culture as well. Because as a government, we realize the importance of engaging our young people throughout the year. Any person interested can contact the Ministry of Youth Development, the various constituency offices across the Tri-Island state, our youth officers, Imani supervisors, and so, as we have registration forms. But we will cater for every student who shows up at the centers. The National Summer Program will culminate on August 2nd with a closing ceremony. However, we will have a community service component of the program to ensure that our students understand the importance of giving back to their communities. I will now move on to the Imani program, a very important program that engages over 2,500 young persons. Only last week, we held a certificate ceremony for over 100 trainees who received their CVQ certification in early childhood education. This is very important as they are now certified in early childhood and can use this certification to build on their capacities and to be better empowered and more employable. At present, our teacher trainees, those who are at school assisting the teachers, are engaged in a summer enrichment program for 2 weeks, which started on July 8th. Also, we have some of our trainees graduating on Thursday from the T.A. Marisha Community College, and we want to extend congratulations to these trainees who are part of the scholarship component of the Imani program. WeiVybz. You will remember that in April, the Grenada Youth Enterprise Initiative was rebranded into WeiVybz, with the first business support center opening in St. Mark to cater for young aspiring entrepreneurs from St. John, St. Mark, and St. Patrick. Following the opening or the launch of the Business Support Center, last week Tuesday, we had the first cohort of trainees graduating from a 6 weeks business entrepreneurship workshop. All 15 trainees are now equipped with the knowledge and skills to manage and operate their small businesses. Thus far, they have created their business plans. They are in the process of registering their business and applying for the loan so that they can access the finance from the Grenada Development Bank to get their projects or the businesses in operation. The Empower program. Just to remind you at present that our Empower participants are engaged in vocational training at the CVQ level 2, in property and facilities maintenance, heavy machinery, computer repairs, survey technicians. We also have some of them at Top Level Studio owned by Edzil Mitchell Ajamo, and they are doing music production and instrument playing. Some of the participants are also engaged in on-the-job training. As part of the Empower program, the participants were involved in a cricket competition held among the various constituencies. And on Friday, we will see the finals of that competition between St. David and St. Mark. On Friday, we will have a family fun day at the Boucher's playing field. And that family fun day will include all participants from all the ministry's projects, programs. And this will include Imani, Project ACE at Moncton, Project Fly, Project Reach, and all other programs of the ministry. So this was just an update as to everything happening at the Ministry of Youth Development at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kate Lewis, for that comprehensive report on the developments within your ministry, the number of programs that are currently in operation that are intended to keep our youth continuously engaged. At this point, we will invite questions from members of the media. We ask that, as per usual, you identify yourself and your media house before you ask your question.
Morning, Callistra Farrier. Minister Lewis, you spoke of the Imani program several weeks ago. The Prime Minister was heard speaking about the exit situation with the program, that it was becoming, top heavy, that people were coming in but never seemed to be leaving. Can you update us, please, on what has taken place so far to ensure that the people who need to exit the program have exited the program? Have we done anything about that?
Yes, definitely. We have a team of persons who are currently engaged to look at sustainable exit strategies for some of our trainees. Our trainees, we are giving them all the opportunities to improve their certification, their qualification levels. We are also working closely with the private sector to ensure that they can take them in on a permanent basis. As you know, we have the 50-50 payment policy with our private sector. This is going good at this time, but in places where they have positions to engage the trainees on a permanent basis, we are engaging them to do so. For those who are involved in the public sector, we are looking to see the different ministries that can also engage them on a permanent basis.
So part of the strategy will be to engage more permanent employees in the government service. Now, I understand that the private sector, while the subsidized labor was very attractive for them and their bottom line, are not very enthusiastic about the idea of taking on trainees in a permanent capacity. Could you please tell me how successful your ministry has been in getting the private sector, to give a commitment to now foot the bill for employing these young people?
We have been working closely with our private sector, and contrary to what you heard, they are also working with us, and on a monthly basis, we do have them taking on our trainees on a permanent basis. Every month, we can indicate the number of trainees who are engaged on a permanent basis. We have to realize that our trainees are qualified to perform the jobs, and they are doing it well, and they are engaged on a permanent basis. The numbers can be provided to you later on. But on a monthly basis, we have a number of trainees who are fully engaged on a permanent basis with our private sector.
Do you have the numbers as far as the expansion of the government service by giving by providing permanent spots for them in the government service? Do you have numbers on that? By how much can we see the public sector increasing as far as Imanis are concerned? And now that the job training is over and they're being permanently employed by the state.
Okay, what I can say is that we are not looking to increase the numbers permanently within the government sector, but to include them on a more contractual basis.
Christina John, Grenada Broadcasting Network. My question is to Senator Cox. In recent times, we have seen the passing of, say, about 4 stalwart artists. Does your ministry have any plans to do anything in terms of recognizing artists, as one Calypsonian has put it, before they pass on, to give them their flowers? Any way to recognize them?
It's a very important observation, and thank you very much for that question. It's a very important question as well, because sometimes what the contribution those persons make could be easily forgotten. I know that the Cultural Foundation has had a discussion, and through their initiative, through the annual awards, they would use that opportunity to recognize persons on an annual basis. Whether or not that is sufficient or satisfactory, that is something that we'll have to look at. But the Cultural Foundation have looked at that, and they normally would check on all our veteran artists. I can tell you it was the Cultural Foundation who called me a few weeks ago and informed me that Mr. John was ill. So I knew that they are following all our veteran artists, and so I must commend them for that. Apart from the cultural awards, the national cultural awards that we would have as part of our initiative this year at the March Gras, as we indicated, that will be something ongoing going forward. That is also one of the initiatives that we have implemented. We are looking at others, but as I said, I think there is room for us to do much more. But that's a very important issue, and it's a concern. And so, but we have looked at it, and we are going to do more. We are definitely going to do more.
Okay, my next question to you, thank you for this, is in relation to persons obtaining diplomatic passports. Can you explain to me the criteria for someone to obtain such?
Diplomatic passport, you said, right?
Like the artist received the other day.
Official
passports. Yes, thank you.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to make sure. Yes.
Sorry about that. Thanks.
Well, the Ministry of Culture, there, as I indicated, I don't have all the criteria off the top of my head. All right. But a lot of it has to do with your performance as an artist, the number of years, also the impact that you would have on the international stage as well. Because the whole idea is that given that opportunity to be a cultural ambassador means that you're representing Grenada. Hence reason why you're issued an official passport, so you become an official of the state. If so to put it. So it's important that you carry yourself in a manner that is one that will depict what each and every one of us who want us to represent as a Grenadian when we overseas or even locally. So it's in that regard the contribution that you would have made and the impact. Also, you will have to meet a number of criteria. Even after giving the responsibility, as you noticed the other day, we give some instruments. There are a number of things that they would have to do, like mentoring, and if not, those instruments can be revoked. But basically, in a nutshell, it has to do with your contribution towards the development of culture, how you represent Grenada internationally, the impact that you have outside, and more so your length of time in the Calypso fraternity.
Okay, how many years are we looking at, say, being in the art form or perhaps even representing Grenada? Should it be a one-time something and then you create an impact out there at one time and then you get to be recognized like this?
No, well, I wouldn't say create an impact one time. It's not an issue of a one-time thing. Is that sometimes it depends on the level of impact. Like, for example, an athlete may go out and win a medal only once. And so should you wait for him to win another medal before you recognize him? So it depends on the level of the impact that you would have had. It's like, for example, in the area of sports, we recognize accomplishments at a different level, say more the Olympic Games, the Pan Am and things like that, in comparison to a medal at the Carriacou Games. So it has to be also at the level as well. So it's not just going out and winning. I don't know if it's something specific or a particular issue or incident that you might be pointing to, then maybe I can speak to it. So
Kind of ask this too, as to kind of link it with persons like the same Bubbler and other artists, like, who have aged and
Yeah.
pass on now.
Yeah.
If persons like this should not be given such a recognition for the number of years that they would have perhaps contributed towards the art form in a positive way.
What I can tell you is that it's a question that has been asked, how and who should receive. But for me, because it is something that we would have placed more focus on now as a ministry, it kind of brings the discussion into focus. And I believe that maybe there are persons previously who should have been recognized and wasn't. But I don't think that we should fault anybody for that. Because you see, at different times, at different stages of a ministry, there is different focus, there are different priorities, and there are different policy. And so I don't think that it should be seen as if their contribution is not recognized because you're not given recognized as a cultural ambassador. I think it is much more than just saying you're a cultural ambassador. I think persons appreciate much more other things than being given some instrument and a passport. And I think sometimes even recognition at a particular event, even at independence and those things, mean a lot more to persons than being a cultural ambassador. So I think it's much more than that. But it's a wider discussion that is required. As I said, it's a new approach that we're taking based on how we are doing it. And as goes go forward, we'll look at it and see how we can fine-tune those things. But that is where we are. So it's not a matter of us not appreciating and recognizing the contributions of Calypsonians. Because there are other persons who were cultural ambassadors before. I can tell you, and they would have indicated me personally, Minister, look, this thing is making sense to me because, they need some clarity on our role and what we need to do. So these are some of the things that we are doing now. We are strengthening that aspect of that policy decision. But it's quite noted, and thank you very much for raising it.
Good morning, Senator Cox.
Kalisha, before you come back to the microphone, I just want to ensure that other journalists present don't have questions before we allow you to ask further questions.
Allow me, because I'm thinking...
Kalisha, there are other journalists present. Let's just determine if anybody else has questions to ask. You would have already asked 3 questions. Members of the media, any questions from anyone else? Okay, there's obviously no further questions. You may proceed.
Well, Philo, thanks for your permission. Senator Cox, I noticed that you speak a lot on matters that have to do with Carnival and the Spice Mass Corporation. The SMC is a statutory body and has a certain level of autonomy, and but there's been one news conference so far, a 10-minute news conference where the CEO appeared, but you appear to be the one who is giving a lot of the nuts and bolts information. Not that I don't mind hearing and seeing you on a weekly basis. Could you tell me if there's a reason for the fact that you appear to be the face and the voice of Carnival this year, which has not necessarily been a normal practice in the past?
Well, I don't even know how to respond to such a question because it's stuff that is discussed at the cabinet level and emanating from cabinet meeting, because I have to inform the cabinet on some of the things that is taking place at various boards and statutory boards and response for which SMC is such a board. I do not know what used to happen before. I cannot speak to that. The CEO is the one who furnishes me with most of all the information, so it's not a matter of me giving information that Spice Mass that is not aware of, or stakeholders is not aware of. I just want to clarify that. And so any information that we give here is because our stakeholders have signed off on some of it and they have discussed in length via meeting. As I say, there are still some outstanding issues. So if there is anything in particular that that your question might be emanating from, me, I may be able to help answer that question. But there is no reason. Just that from Cabinet, what is discussed, we at Cabinet meeting, and we come and we inform the public about it.
So the fact that SMC has not necessarily been engaging the media in terms of providing up. Is this a new channel? The CEO speaks to you and you speak to the media. Is that the official communication channel for Carnival this year?
Well, I don't think so, because I'm certain that you would have engaged Spice Mass and you got information. I am quite certain about that. So don't give the impression that you do not get that kind of information.
I'd like to correct you there.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I'm questioning this is because after covering Carnival for a lot of years and engaging various CEOs and management teams of the Carnival over the years, there is a difference this year, and not just your presence here almost on a weekly basis reporting on Carnival, but just engaging, even just engaging the office sometimes provides a difficulty in getting basic public information on Carnival. And as I said, there's only been one news conference which the CEO made about 3 attempts to get out of the chair and walk away while media people were asking questions. Apparently the news conference was called to speak but not to answer questions. So I am noticing a difference, and it's also been brought to my attention by other members of the media who have that concern.
But I think that most importantly, the question is there any difficulty with receiving information? I don't think that is an issue. I think that we have been doing our best to give more information. I can't recall, maybe you can correct me, whether or not such detailed information have been given out previously in the past. And I think it's an opportunity for us to engage, to get a feedback from our patrons, who are the ones actually going to patronize those events, and so that we're trying to give that approach to give more information as much as possible. But the CEO is very busy, I can tell you. In talking with him this morning, he was basically running, and so as you know, if there is any issue, any problem with SMC, you probably may not go to SMC first, you probably come to me. So I don't think I should be only here to deal with only problems, but also to give pertinent information as well. So I think that is fair enough. So thank you very much for your observation. And of course, the CEO will be on sometime speaking about Carnival, and everybody will have an opportunity to speak about it. So it's just that they are very busy right now. We had the challenges with the weather, we had some setbacks, the schedules are pretty tight, and so we're all working as one team. Thank you very much.
I was under the impression that there were public relations officers and communications officers and all those sorts of people attached to SMC who are not speaking either. If the press secretary would allow me, Ms. Lewis, Minister Lewis, I asked about a figure, whether or not the government, the cabinet had determined. Do you have a number of the people? It might be difficult to ascertain as far as the private sector is concerned, but do you have a number yet for the public service? The contracts for the public service?
None at this time.
But so far, contracts that have been awarded, do you know how many people have been given permanent contracts for full-time employment?
We have not awarded any contracts. As I indicated earlier, there is a team of persons who are looking at it, the structure.
Do we have any further questions this morning? Okay, no further questions. We bring an early wrap on this week's post-cabinet press briefing. I would like to thank the ministers for being present here this morning for the updates as it relates to Carnival, from Senator Cox, details about the adjudication process, and the fact that Mr. Hugh Grant, who conducted recent training, will be back for the judging of the semi-finals and the finals to keep a watch on that process. From Minister Kate Lewis, a lot of updates as it relates to the various programs that are currently on stream for youth across the nation. One of the things I like to highlight here is the National Summer Program that will run from July 22nd to August 2nd. Minister Lewis would have said that we recognize the importance of continuously engaging young people. That summer camp is for children ages 10 to 16. And there is also a community service component of that to help students understand the importance of giving back. And with that, I would want to say thank you for being here to our listeners and viewers. Thank you for joining us. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Do join us again next week.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Only the few will see when you set the bar, but everyone will know when you've raised it.
Welcome to party. We are the greatest.
We have done it again in this, the era of greatness, with the biggest white.
We bring the most fight.
Watch greatness unfold with Mr. Killer, Wasways, and Lava Man, and more of Grenada's best, featuring headliner Marshall Montano and the Monk Band.
We great, absolutely.
Be at the National Cricket Stadium on Saturday, August 10th. Get your tickets now from GoToFed.com and all Sunshine Promotions box offices. The biggest white. It's where greatness lives.
We are the greatest.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Well, foreigners from all over, coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world, followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Ministry of Agriculture's quarantine unit implements strategies to step up its education campaign for travelers. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Monday, July 15th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. The Plant Quarantine Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands aims to beef up its awareness campaign to alert travelers about the risk associated with carrying certain types of food, plants and other agricultural items in passenger baggage. Details from Mina Booker, the ministry's public relations officer.
Grenada is looking forward to receiving support to safeguard food and agriculture through the Travelers Don't Pack a Pest program, or DPAP, which is supported by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. The Plant Quarantine Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture is the key negotiating body for the project. This week, the unit hosted a delegation from the program with the aim to develop a signage proposal for funding and implementation at the different ports of entry here. They also toured the facility to identify potential sites for erecting these signs. Dennis Martin, head of the delegation, in making his presentation to members of different departments at the MBIA, said that the organization is closing the loop and raising awareness on how there can be greater control of the number of pests and disease transferred at the points of entry.
And with that increased volume comes an increased risk that travelers take when they unwittingly pack a little bit of that vacation or a little bit of home when they travel. You know, that mango or that orange or banana may harbor some plant pests that could have a devastating effect on the environments and the islands in the Caribbean. And the benefits of this program are pretty much the same whether you're talking about the United States or the Caribbean and any island in the Caribbean. It's geared towards protecting the agriculture of our countries, the livelihoods of the people that work in agriculture, and also protecting our food supply. We'll be expanding on the domestic side, and as you can see, we're expanding in the international side with Grenada forming a partnership with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and working towards implementation of the program here on the island.
The Travelers Don't Pack a Pest program includes airing a 60-second video and placement of signs at strategic areas in major airports and cruise ship ports, along with the distribution of other public information materials to the traveling public. These program elements deliver a simple message: when you travel, declare agriculture items, don't pack a pest. Plant Quarantine Officer within the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Mr. Thaddeus Peters, underscored the importance of prevention when it comes to pest and disease management.
Fruits, vegetables, plants and plant products, they are a pathway for the movement of plant pest and disease. And when new diseases move into new territories, it can have devastating effect on the local agriculture, the local economy. Lots of people get affected, and we have had a number of historical cases in Grenada. Currently, we are dealing with the citrus greening disease. From the 90s, we would have had the pink mealybug when people would have lost trade. We had the fruit fly, the West Indian fruit fly. Now we're seeing the worms in the plums. We would have lost that trade to the US. And to regain those markets takes a lot. And by that time, millions of dollars would have been lost to the economy, and a lot of livelihoods would have been affected. So it's important to stress on prevention.
Lenworth Gordon, Marketing and Property Manager at the Grenada Airport Authority, outlined the benefits of the undertaking.
So we're always seeking to raise the level of awareness of the traveling public about the do's and don'ts, and this would just be another one of the initiatives aimed at that overall public awareness, so that when passengers, transit the airport, they abide by the rules and regulations. And definitely no one really wants pests to be transiting the borders, whether it's to the USA or here. So overall, it's a good initiative to raise public awareness about the dangers of packing pests in your luggage.
The program has supported more than 50 ports of entry where signs and/or videos are displayed. The Travelers Don't Pack a Pest program is designed to raise public awareness about the risks associated with passengers potentially introducing pest and disease into Grenada, the United States, and the Caribbean region by carrying agricultural and food items in their luggage when they travel. For the Ministry of Agriculture's Public Relations Unit, I am Mina Buka.
Grenada has assumed the chairmanship of the Organization of American States Permanent Council with a commitment to working with member states to build consensus through good faith and dialogue. Ms. Yolande Smith, permanent representative of Grenada to the OAS, pointed to the importance of two-way communication on the road to consensus building. During the recent handover ceremony, Ms. Smith said her delegation is committed to the principles enshrined in the Charter of the OAS, in particular Article 3. She said it is their collective responsibility as members of the organization to ensure it lives up to the tenets of its charter, in an atmosphere of respect for the sovereign rights of member states, small and large. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party. Spice Man.
Foreigners from all over, coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people. Trending team fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world. Followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Welcome back. Youth parliamentarians had their say on the Electronic Crimes Act of 2013 and the Electronic Crimes Amendment Act of 2014 at the sitting of the National Youth Parliament, which marks the final in a series of youth parliamentary sittings. The act seeks to provide for the prevention of and punishment for electronic crimes. Here are some highlights of the sitting, which was held on Friday.
The government firmly believes that the act will deter persons from engaging in malicious activities online, such as identity theft, electronic forgery, electronic terrorism, and misuse of encryption.
The people's right to have their innocence intact until due process is given, not considered. It is important, Mr. Speaker, that the law is clear, precise, and certain. Is it that in desperation to address the issues of putting measures in place to curb what is dubbed as modern crimes, exacerbated by technology, that we are trampling underfoot our people's entitlements?
Education is important, and we're saying amend and educate our people as it relates to this bill, because Grenadians are a set of people with phonetic, and that simply means we don't have ethics when it comes to phone. Somebody dying, picture. Somebody hurting, picture. And what we're saying, Mr. Speaker, as an opposition, take your time, amend, and educate.
I understand why the government may have felt compelled to make changes to the legislation, but removing this section completely was not feasible. Grenada is not the only country in the region, Mr. Speaker, with an Electronic Crimes Act. And we are certainly not the only one that face criticism and backlash for taking such a step and implementing such a legislation.
And finally, in related news, Grenada's most outstanding youth parliamentarian in the January Youth Parliamentary sitting will represent the country in the 44th Regional Conference of the Caribbean in the Americas and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, the CPA. Nealon Franklin will accompany Government Senator Keisha Williams and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Michael Pear. He says it provides an opportunity for the voice of the youth to be heard on global issues.
I will be attending the 44th Regional Conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. I will be participating in the 15th Regional Youth Parliament as a member of the opposition. The topic to be debated is surrounding border security. I think the topic is timely and important, taking into consideration what's going on in the region and around the world as it relates to migration and people moving for different reasons, whether it be social or political crises, etc.
Franklin is confident that involvement in initiatives like these will be beneficial in the long run.
I think it is important for young people to participate in activities like these because what it does is give government and government officials an idea as to the youth perspective on a lot of issues facing that the country is facing and young people are facing. We often hear people say the youth is the future. We are the ones to take up the mantle after the older folks leave. And now we have an opportunity where we can show or prove ourselves to the older folks that, okay, we are ready. We understand what's going on. We appreciate what's going on. And we believe that we are ready. I would encourage as much young people throughout the tri-island state to participate in these activities.
The conference, which has been held in Trinidad, will conclude on July 19th. That story just ended the national report for today, Monday, July 15th. Let's recap the top story. Ministry of Agriculture's quarantine unit implements strategies to step up its education campaign for travelers. On behalf of everyone here at the Government Information Service who made this newscast possible, I'm Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Keep sending out good signals. Pay attention to your audience. Let your light shine. What's for you will be for you. With the real ones rooting for you. Just let your energy introduce.
Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And it is Hard Talk. We're live to you, 97.5 CitysoundFM.
89.5 CRFM.
92.9 Sister Isles FM out there on the Sister Isles of Carriacou.
And 94.9 We Noise Radio.
Yes,
in Brooklyn.
Indeed. Another beautiful day on the Isle of Spice, Grenada. Yes, indeed.
Sunshiny day.
Well, I ain't go outside for a while, so I can't tell.
Right.
I can't tell if it's sunshine. Yesterday we saying sunshine, and when I go outside, I needed more than an umbrella to get from there to the car.
Man, I was soaked by the time I reached home. I was soaked.
Yeah, a lot of rain. But the farmers need it.
Oh, yeah.
The water storage facilities need it.
Nawasa need it.
Yeah, Nawasa need it. And Nawasa continues to advise customers that due to the intense rainfall over the past number of days, it has affected some of the catchment areas. And due to that, in some areas, there will be an interruption in water supply. That's because in some cases, the pipes going up in the mountains and so burst, or the dam itself becomes clogged, so no water can go through. So they have to go and fix that, all right? So don't worry, that when it clogs and things, the water have to go to another area, and then they treat it, and then they send it to you. But it can't get to the area where they're treating it because the pipe either break or clog and all that sort of thing, all right?
2 days now I've been affected, but I ain't sweating because when persons were in the dry season not getting, I had it flowing, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we say a special good morning to all of you on the live. As usual, Hannah, Sonia, Eshak, I see you there, man. Morning. Cynthia, I see Marilyn, I see Nisha, Garfield, Shauna, Gail, good morning, Talia, Brenda, Louisa, Roll, hey, Johnny, good morning to all of you. Everybody on the live this morning, we say a very special good morning to each and every one of you. And we hope that you are having a fabulous day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yes,
we are
indeed.
doing.
Yeah. Post-cabinet press briefing.
Yeah.
Lots of information coming out there in relation to Spice Mass 2019. Expected to be one of the biggest ones we've ever had. And I know the Groovy Monarch list came out last night, Devon. The Groovy Monarch semi-finalists.
Yeah.
You didn't make it.
No.
You didn't make it. I checked the list. Your name not it.
Oh, boy.
A name I was looking for, I don't see, boy. I'm feeling real. Nah, boy. That one, I was looking for Mr. West, boy. But I don't know if he participated in the preliminaries because, with the shifting of the days and so I don't know if he did. But the finalists, Soca Banton, Red Alert, Terror the Governor, Otis, Snake Oil, Top Cat and Blazer, Sheldon Douglas, Randy Isaac, Scholar, Vaughn, Baraka, Altitude, Crave, Pappy Boy, Kennedy, Mandela Links, Killer B, Brother B, Valine, Double Standard, Looney Sparky Electrify, Sparky B, Punchless, Alma Boy, and Golden. So they are in the Groovy Monarch semi-finals, and that'll be taking place next week Thursday at Carnival City from 8 p.m. The price of admission only $25. So that'll be taking place next week Thursday from 8 p.m. at the Carnival City in Tantine, St. George.
Yeah, so we'll be looking for persons to come up against the reigning champion.
Mm-hmm.
The reigning groovy monarch.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know, man.
Hear a piece of that. This guy
I
coming.
don't know if I look at. Well,
And as soon as I start walking on, you want to make something must be wrong, you man. I don't come here for that, all you help me burn and that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you nothing that will never defeat me. Control me your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I'm telling you, rule number one, we don't come to beg nothing from me. I'm telling you, the people, music, look, everybody chanting. I'm telling you, the people, business, while we come to need blessings. I'm telling you, don't direction time, so help me broadcasting message. No bad vibes on my side. We fuel by motivation. Keep sending out good signals. Pay attention to your audience. Let your light shine. What's for you will be for you. With the real ones rooting for you. Just let your energy introduce. You can say, I don't know why.
Yeah, boy, it's a rough competition. It all depends on what takes place on the night. And I think this morning, the Minister with Responsibility, the Senator, the Honorable Nolan Cox, he spoke specifically to the judging, the aspect of judging. They've done some judging workshops with Mr. Hugh Grant, well-renowned in that area, who will be back for the semifinals and finals to sort of oversee the process and so in relation to judging. You know, judging has been one of the things that some of the Calypso associations, some of the Calypso tents, some of the individual artists have been speaking about over the years. And to sharpen up on that area, a significant approach in relation to the issue of judging has taken place. So they will be dealing with that. Yeah. So you have Mr. Hugh Grant. He's done some sessions. He's due to do a next session again and to be here during the semi-finals and the finals. So he'll be back on island to do some further training with them for judging, the judging workshops. Yeah. We want to make sure that we have the thing on point.
Yeah, it's crucial.
Yeah. You want to make sure that the criteria are properly followed and that people are awarded the proper points in different areas. So you don't want nobody quarreling at the end of the day. You have to be able to show them and say, listen, when you're talking a melody, listen to yourself. No, you were not melodic. So that's why you lose some points there. All right? Mm-hmm. You have to be able to do that.
And that's why it's so important for Calypsonians or artists to know music, to know what, the different style that they have to put. Like, you know what is lyrics, you know what is melody, you know what is presentation. You study these things. So you know on that night when you go to perform, you have a combination of things that you can, to win. That's why you have some artists, you cannot beat them because they get into what their presentation, everything. They take time to prepare, and that is important.
Mm-hmm. Also, the Soca Monarch shaping up pretty interesting as well. Various contenders inside there looking to come up against the reigning monarchs, Lil Natty and Thunder. We know the semifinals is taking place next week, Friday. That's July the 26th, and we're heading up to the big parish for that one, Progress Park. Starting time 8 p.m. Price of admission only $30. So that'll be taking place next week, Friday.
When you think we won, Nazi and Thunder again. It's been a long time now and we've been waiting. All our snake and chain and everybody celebrating. Jamaican a moment, this is history in the making. We come here to mash it up and then no hesitating. No everybody jump. This is carnival, this is carnival.
Yeah, that's the Soca Monarch composition for 2019. And there is a 2018, eh?
That's composition.
Cause when they're going left, are going right. So, but when they're going wrong,
Yeah, we just touch it for you. We done. We touch this who's the reigning groovy, and we touch who's the reigning soca monarch and so for you, and we done. We done with that. Right? Calypso tent judging is taking place. That one, your list there as well? Yes, you should have your list over there as well. I think tonight. First tent will be judging. That's Cheros. So that's at the St. Paul's Community Center from 8 p.m. tonight. Yeah?
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, price of admission only $10.
Only $10.
Yeah, so walk with a little extra than 10. You want to spend a little something in the bar. Support the Calypso, not just by paying and going the tent. Yeah, support the bar and thing too.
And then we have on Thursday, July 18th, Malmong Big Yard, 8 p.m. You have the Calypso tent, right?
The
Roots Calypso tent, right? That's on Thursday, July 18th. Okay, Malmong Big Yard. We have Friday, the 19th, all right? Dragon Bay, 8 p.m., all right? Northwest Calypso tent.
Free.
Right? Free.
Yeah, go and listen to Calypso. I Zingo and them.
Yeah.
Zingo and I want a Baraka down there.
Supposed to be.
I know usually in Northwest. I'm not sure where he is this year.
I've not heard nothing from him as yet, too, though.
Yeah, Saturday, though, you have the Kaiso Bads. Where are they, Devon?
Kaiso Bads. Ooh, the Lux Cinema, 8 p.m., $20. Right, July 20th, Saturday.
So that's Saturday. And Sunday?
And Sunday we have Natural Works. Ooh.
St. David.
Yeah, Kaiso Kingdom. Understand? Natural Works, 8 p.m. It's $15. Kaiso, the Kaiso Kingdom, all right? Go there and support. And then we have Monday, right? The Fireworks Kaiso 10, the Deluxe Cinema, 8 p.m., $20. That's on Monday, the 22nd of July. Okay? And then we have Groovy semifinals on Thursday, right? July 25th.
And as we mentioned, the Soca Monarch and traditional mass coming up next week, Saturday. And folks, you all should take the opportunity to go up and look at the Vieux-Con. The Vieux-Con, the short knee, and all other aspects of traditional mass up there in St. Mark, Diamond Street. It's usually a wonderful one. And it's the one time that you get to see that volume of traditional mass. I think it's a wonderful one, and you need to go out there and see that one blossom. Good morning to you, my dear.
Traditional mass.
That's next week Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday
next
27,
week,
Diamond Street.
Yeah, but Devon, before we go any further, I think you have something for the people with the fogging.
Ministry of Health, right? That's from the Senior Environmental Health Officer. This is to inform you that the Vector Control Division of the Ministry of Health will be conducting fogging operations on the following days and in the following areas in an effort to reduce the mosquito population. This phase of fogging targets area of mass gathering for the carnival season and will complement the entomology. I can have a title.
I don't go through all that today. I don't just say you're fogging here, you're fogging there, you're fogging there. I don't know what you're reading all of that for. They're fogging. And just telling people where they're fogging. Go
today,
to that.
Today, Tuesday, the 16th day of July. Areas, Progress Park and its environment, including the Park of Telescope, right, from 5 p.m. So you have Progress Park, right, and parts of Telescope this afternoon from 5 p.m. Tomorrow, Wednesday, right, the 17th of July, Telescope and its environs, 5 p.m. And Thursday, July 18th, the Tongue of Grenville and its environs, 5 p.m. So today, Tuesday, right, people in around the Progress Park area and its environs, Telescope, parts of Telescope, 5 p.m. Remember, the fogging team will be in your area, right? Give them your cooperation. And for the persons who suffers from asthma and may have respiratory problems and so, please pay attention. We need to get them out there for a couple of hours or hour or two, right? And other than that, you need to keep your windows and your doors open. Let the fogging go through.
There's Grenada. You don't have to worry about man playing wing fu and jumping in place.
And man afraid fog. Them thief and them afraid fog.
They ain't staying around.
Yeah, they ain't staying around. They worse than a mosquito. Right? So you don't have to worry about that.
Miss Gilks, good morning to you. Yeah, sorry for not saying good morning to you specifically. So a special, glorious Grenadian good morning to you, my dear. We do hope that you have a fabulous day today. All right? Hey, but with the fogging, Devon, it's important for us to tell the people who have apiaries. So in other words, the guys who have the beekeepers.
Yeah.
Grenada's honey has won international awards. They said it's something to do with the bees and the fact that they go to the nutmeg plants and they take the pollen off of the nut. So the flavor of the honey has a bit of the spices that we have in Grenada in it. So the honey is rated highly internationally. So for beekeepers, those of you that have your apiaries and so on, your bee farms, you need to contact the vector control. You need to contact the Ministry of Health and Environment, the vector control department, and let them know, because they may fog in the area and kill all your bees.
Yeah.
So you need to let them know where your beehives. I think we have a caller. Didn't open the lines, but somebody's calling.
Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Devon. Good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning, sir. To you, my friend.
Hey, I gotta get up early to catch all you on the live. I usually get all you on demand.
Oh, no problem.
I got a question to ask about a year ago, and I didn't get the opportunity to ask it. With the house inspection, the building inspections, do they have inspection of occupancy before the tenants move in, especially for the commercial residentials? Do they have any inspection before the building is occupied?
Oh, you mean in the case of, for instance, somebody builds a commercial complex? If the ministry...
Like a hotel or something?
Yeah, I believe they do. I cannot confirm. I believe they do. I know that they usually are there. Even during the building process, they would make an inspection and so. Before they approve, during the process, I know they usually pass through. Just before people move in, I am not positive. I don't want to make a definite statement and be proven to be wrong. But I believe they do. What I can do is verify with the ministry what the usual process is. I know for a fact that during the process of building these places, that the ministry is always checking up, going through, making sure that everything is being done properly. But at the end of it, just before people move in, I am not absolutely sure. I believe it is done, but I'm not sure. Yeah? But you're raising an important issue there.
One of my concerns is that I stayed in a hotel sometime back, hotel guest house. About last season, we had that rain flooding.
Yeah.
In July.
Okay.
Yeah. I stayed in a hotel there, and I looked at, I know we know Grenada is safe and what have you, but on the inside there was steel bars, wrought iron, bolted to the windows, and I think that's a hazard. So in case of emergency, you can't get out through a window or nothing. One exit, the door only. I'd like them to look into that.
Yeah.
And you all have a safe carnival, which I tell you is not my cup of tea, but always be safe and, keep it good.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Noriega and Kami and the folks down there.
All right.
All right, my friend.
Thank you so very much.
All right.
Yes, indeed. And we hadn't opened the phone lines yet, but if you get a call sometime, you had to take it. Yeah. But before we go further, Devon, I didn't give the number for the beekeepers to call. Yeah. You need to call 440-2095. Hold the thought. 440-2095 and 440-3485. So 440-2095 and 440-3485. So they need to call both of those numbers.
Okay. Oh, I just wanted to say a special good morning to two stalwarts, two persons that has been making contributions and so, not just to their work, individual work, but to Grenada. All right. Police Officer Andrew Andrews, right, out there in Grenville. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're doing much better. And Dr. Winston Thomas, good morning to you. All right, coming from all the comrades. All right, wherever you're, we hope that you enjoy having a wonderful day and you much better today. All right, so that greeting is coming from you know who. All right, all concerned. I know you are the people's doctor. All right, so that's what I want to do. And a special good morning to the doctors, nurses, wardens, all the workers of our general hospital and the medical stations around the country. Good morning to you, and continue to serve our nation proudly. Okay.
Yeah. Also on the postcard this morning, we had the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis speaking about developments within her department. and the Imani program. Several Imani trainees coming off of the program and receiving contracts and so on as well. So that's some wonderful news, though, that you have them moving from one stage on to another. We know that earlier this year we saw quite a few who were able to complete university education in nursing and different areas at the St. George University. And at present, there are several others that are in university, both here in Grenada and outside of Grenada. You have people who were part of the Imani or are part of the Imani in China and in Mexico, Cuba, various places who have been part of the Imani program. So they've moved on to another level. Yeah. So that's good news as well.
The Imani program has created a launching pad for young people, right, to move on. Those of you who thought that there was no hope, you left school at an early age, and so, or you left school and you just frustrated, you can't find a job or whatever. But the Imani program has put in place, programs that to enlighten you, to strengthen your ability and things to move forward. And now we're seeing a lot of fruits. That mango tree bearing plenty right now, and so it's sweet.
4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Yes, indeed, folks. You can call in. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of this morning's program. Yeah, and we say a special good morning to all of you listening via terrestrial radio. I say a special good morning to Campesh. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Django, good morning to you as well down there at City Sound FM. Yeah. Hey,
Jack.
Jack and Mr. Fraser and Lisa and all the others at Sister Isle FM, and of course our good friend Wade out there in Brooklyn. We say a very special good morning to each and every one of you. We hope that you're having a fabulous one today. Yeah, man.
Hey, and I just want to continue to remind all citizens of Grenada, we are into the hurricane season, right? We need to pay attention, right, to the releases of NAGMA and so, or from the Met Office through NAGMA. It's very important for us to follow the weather patterns and so, and be prepared, right? We are into the hurricane season. We need to ensure that we do not be caught off guard, right? The emergency kits, the water supplies, right? What is needed to ensure it brings you through the hurricane season, or always, in my view, be always prepared for these type of hazards and so. So a reminder, don't get complacent. We know it's a festive season, but NAGMA wants you to always keep the weather at the back of your mind, okay?
Mm-hmm. Because look what happened over the past few days. Yeah. And then you've had the Baltazar Bridge just overflowing and so on.
Twice within 2 or 3 days, eh?
Yeah, it overflowed on Friday and again on Sunday. Yes. Yeah. Right after I passed on it on Sunday. Yeah, yeah, I was watching it. I know it would happen. Yeah, the volume of water that was coming down. Yes. Yeah, like what happened? The phone line working? Let me clear it up.
Yeah. Make sure it's clear.
4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Go right ahead, Devon. You're reading them again? Yeah. Don't get in a mango talk with them.
No, but this mango thing that we go leave for next time. But yesterday, Sheldon, we touched on some serious issues when it comes to our culture and parts of our carnival, all right, traditional mass and so, and it raised some eyebrows as to some of the things, some of the practices we have been accustomed to may not have been the right one. For example, typical the what Pele and look, I just forget the whole
vehicle.
The vehicle, right? and whole yesterday and last night, it was on my mind, eh? So there are a number of things that we words we pronounce, right? And so and it's not really. But thanks to persons like Pele and so who have been there over the years and understand and know, and is willing to continue to educate the people, and that's good. That's what we need. We need to get all these things in line. So when visitors come in, and we have to be ambassadors to explain to them what is the vehicle or the fancy mass, and so we as a people must be able to do that.
Okay.
So.
Yes, indeed. But not only that aspect of it, Devon. I think even more important than the visitors. The visitors, they come, they go. They learn a bit about Grenadian history, but ensuring that our children understand where they're from, how they come from there, and why it is important to maintain this. So whether it's the guys doing the big drum in Carriacou and the quadrille, or whether it's somebody with the vehicle here in Grenada, or the short knee and the short knee chant, or doing the wild Indian or whatever, or the maypole, which is something that started a resurgence, and then we've seen it kind of go down again. I'm not seeing maypole dancers. The last couple of years I haven't been seeing the maypole dancers. It started up again.
On
and
parade,
then it's
there are a few
disappeared.
of them, but not on.
Yeah, so we need to get back some of the maypole dancers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we need to keep in touch with all aspects of our culture. It's
I'm
so
feeling
important.
you might know what the maypole is about, yeah?
Yeah.
You might know what the maypole is about, so you might have to tell us what the maypole is about. And so, but I think we have a caller on.
Hey, good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Devon.
Good morning, my friend.
How are you?
Quite fine.
All right. Brother Devon and Sheldon, I want to congratulate this government because this government is doing a wonderful work with the young people. Because the government is taking the young people on the roadside linemen, doing nothing, and they have them engaged in developing themselves in different ways, in skillful way, in educationally, defining development for them, and the people and the young people. Where in 2008 and 2013, you have the young people, a lot of young people by the roadside linemen, getting themselves in trouble with the law. So I want to congratulate the government for bringing development to young people of Greater Carriacou and Peter Martin. Have them engaged in doing positive things that could develop the light and the family and the village. And Brother Devon, I want to say something. As Grenada celebrate Carnival coming up next month, there are a lot of Grenadians will be returning back. You know, sometimes when Grenadians leave and they go for a certain time and they come back, you want to treat them as foreigners. But I want we to know that they are Grenadians. They are outside there and they help develop the country right in the Western Barrier. All right, so don't treat them as foreigners. They are Grenadians, just go outside there, look for greener pastures, and they bring development to our country to help our country to be a better place. So they came back to the country where they live in the Barrier. They are not foreigners, they are Grenadians. Come back to enjoy the sunshine and the beautiful beaches of Greater Carriacou. Brother Devon, Sheldon, you all have a wonderful day. God bless you.
All right, my friend. Wonderful day. Sheldon, I want to say a special good morning to the environmental wardens out there and to those who have who be doing the bushing and so cleaning up on the sides of the roads. All right, I want to say good morning to you, and you're doing an excellent job. All right, most of you continue doing what you're doing. But I want to make a special appeal, right, to the motorists plying the different routes. Be mindful that they are workers, right? And their security, their safety is very important. Pay attention to different cones, to different whatever they have. Pay attention to them around corners and so you wouldn't, meeting accidents and so. Most of them feel intimidated by users of vehicles, the busmen, the car, all the vehicles, just speeding, not taking them into consideration, right? You need, as drivers, to pay attention to them, and they are doing an excellent job, right? Ensure that they are safe. Just wanted to say that.
But not only that, Devon, I think there's been a bit of misunderstanding and lack of understanding of the environmental wardens by some individuals, because they've been seeing the environmental wardens the same way as you see the bushers.
Yes.
Because they carry out some of the tasks that the bushers carry out in various areas.
They see them the same.
So they see them as the same. So some people are saying you don't see that same man working on the 10 days since beginning of the year. Yeah. And people talking about it because it's not changed. But just to let you know that the environmental wardens is another program. So you have the environmental wardens, who are those folks that you've been seeing out since the beginning of the year. They've been doing clearing drains, different areas. They've been doing some in different areas and so on. They've been doing that in specific areas where there is a tendency for a problem. Yeah? So I expect to see them down at the bottom of Golf Course Hill, close to the post office soon, because that's an area that can flood. the drain usually gets clogged up there and it floods. I've seen them in different parts of the south of the island, on other parts of the island, doing a wonderful job, clearing drains and so on. And had it not been for some of the work that they've been doing thus far, some areas would have flooded.
Oh, yeah. But the heavy rains we had over the weekend.
Yeah, some areas would have flooded.
A lot of areas would have flooded.
Some areas people expected to flood did not flood because of the work that the environmental wardens have been doing. We'd like to congratulate them. Yeah, because I think it's wonderful. Yeah, and additional to that, on the weekend as well, as I was moving around, I saw the people who've been patching the road. You call them again? I ain't calling them no travel.
Yeah, no, that's
but the road repair teams,
the maintenance,
road maintenance teams. I've been seeing them busy all over trying to patch roads here and there and so on. And again, the same as goes with the environmental wardens goes for them, that we're asking some of the road users to please drive with care, caution, and concern when you're approaching the individuals who are working on patching the roads. We are the ones who use the roads. We are the ones that complain about the state of the roads in different areas. And then when it's being repaired, you have some people that drive in a kind of way that they could bounce down one of these people. I saw one in the area of Belmont, close to what we knew as the Lexus Inn. I saw a particular bus driver and driving so carelessly that he nearly knocked over one of the people who were working on that project, fixing the road, patching the road in that area, and he also nearly slammed into the roller. Just a couple inches again, and he just slammed into the roller as well. So he missed two of the staff there, just by inches, and inches again, he missed the roller a little further down. Just driving carelessly, overtake, and so on. You see people stopping because of what was going on. Just decided he ain't stopping, so he overtake and nearly slammed into the folks. And we can't have that happening. You have to be careful. It's people's lives you're playing with there, so you have to be careful.
And if they are not on the road doing the maintenance, you same drivers turn around and complain about the road is bad, you have holes here. So now they are doing it. Be patient, Give them your attention and so on. Sometimes I do not understand, some of us, how we react when we see things like that on the street, right? The bushers, the wardens, right? The maintenance on the road, and our road in particular. The attitude that we want to give out to these persons is sometimes negative, right? They are providing a service just like you are providing a service, and without them, you would not provide a comfortable service, right? So you have to be mindful of that. Very, very mindful of that. The service they are providing, right? If they are not doing it, you're in trouble. So let's work together.
Yes, indeed. 4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Folks, you remember you can also check us out on HARDTALK Grenada Live. You can check us out on Facebook. You can also check us out on YouTube on HARDTALK Grenada on YouTube. We're live there as well. And then via the WeNoise network, you can also get us on your Apple devices. You can get us on Alexa. You can just tell Alexa, play HARDTALK Grenada. Yeah, and you could get HARDTALK live from Grenada. So if you have your Alexa, just say, Alexa, play HARDTALK Grenada, and you can get it. You can get it on your Google devices, so you can speak to Google and you say, play HARDTALK Grenada, and it will bring you over to HARDTALK Grenada. So we are literally available on millions of devices around the world. Yeah. HARDTALK is available on millions of devices around the world. Can't say that about certain other programs.
Well, when you disseminate correct, proper, encouraging, positive information, the world listens. But when you want to take up that propaganda and maligning people pay attention to you for a few days and then they just discard you. But as long as you continue to uplift through information, educating or helping educate our people, and so you'll always be on top.
I hear all this map of a new radio station.
Oh yes, I was hearing something like that, but now it's confirmed, right?
I hear so.
What's the frequency?
I don't know.
I need to find out because I need to do
Accent TRC.
Yeah. I need to inquire of the new frequency because it's all smart. It's one of our cultural ambassador. I would love to follow him via Rebel Radio.
Rebel Radio.
You understand? Hey, Hollis, if you're listening, give us a call. We'd really love to know the frequency you're operating Rebel Radio from.
I know he's been traveling, so I'm not sure he's here.
If he's here, what you know? So hey, that's another smoke culture.
Yes,
culture.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Mr. Technical Man. Yeah, what frequency? Wee. Watch. Let me play a tune for the people.
Nobody can.
The strength of the iron, it's in the testing. It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. Be grateful for your blessings. You've been digging deep to find that inner strength. No, it's not the time to give up. No, nah. I'm telling you, nothing that will never defeat. Where we control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I feel so irate. Wake up and I'm ready. Must make it ever steady. Setting goals is necessary while they hide. Precious time they wasting like a disease. It starts spreading. Now it shift their eyesight. I say, I don't know why. Some will worry about our next man's strive. Try to match up our next man's life. Fix your life. And as soon as I start walking hard, you want to make something must be wrong, your man. I don't come here for that. All you help me one and that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you nothing that will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you. Take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me.
Let me say a special good morning to you, Miss Clytie P. I hope that you're having a wonderful morning this morning. Also, Miss Bernice, good morning to you, my dear. Kiame, good morning. Good morning to all the bus drivers down there in the St. George bus terminal. Those of you up in Grenville. Hope that you're having a fabulous day as we prepare to go into full drive for the carnival season.
With the real ones rooting for you, just let your energy introduce. Say, I don't know why. So we'll worry.
Those of you who are on the road right now, remember to take your time, huh?
And as soon as I start walking hard, you want to make something must be wrong, yeah, man. I don't come here for that, all your help.
We prefer you listen to Hard Talk from outside of a hospital bed, yeah. Especially with the wet conditions over the last few days and so, you have to be extremely careful.
Very, very careful.
Yeah, and we continue to issue that warning to especially the young ladies, but not just the young ladies, but the young men as well, to be careful on taking drinks from people just like that, yeah? There are certain individuals that will drug your drink, yeah? Mm-hmm.
And they do that with fun, you know. I don't understand. You're endangering, you bringing harm to someone else, and it's fun to you.
Mm-hmm. They're enjoying that, yeah.
Before we head out, before we leave here, we have to yell out. I'm telling you nothing that will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you.
440-7377
and 347-329-3101. Good morning to all the different mass band leaders and organizers around our country. Yeah, we know this around this time it's busy time.
Yeah, Helen Mass Camp busy.
Yeah, Peter Bain and Associates and so
Andre
Garvey and
Ricardo Ano band this year. As far as I know. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
All right, you know.
AJ and Associates.
Yeah.
AJ and Associates.
Paraclete and Lafayette and so St. Mark's, all right, St. Patrick's, wherever you are, organizers of different mass bands. Hey, good morning to you and continue to represent Spice Mass. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And on Thursday, Devon, it's coming up. T.A. Marshall Community College graduation.
Oh, yeah,
that'll be taking place this Thursday, huh? Yeah.
Finally, usually the biggest graduation you find around.
I think after them have to be GBSS because that's the biggest secondary school. Secondary school with the most numbers.
Yes, GBSS.
Then probably SAS.
Then you have one of the girls' convent, high school convent, would be very close
High school.
behind. Yeah.
Then convent. Yeah, the phone line's slow this morning, man. So as we said, post-cabinet, they dealt with the issue of judging in Calypso. Mr. Hugh Grant has done several sessions with the judges, the judging pool, because what you have is a pool of persons who have been volunteered to be judges, and they've gone through specific training. So they've gone through some training, and that has been going on over the years, but this year they've been doing some specific training early up with Mr. Hugh Grant, and he's gone over the judging criteria with them, and they even went so far as to show some Dimash Grant so from before and ask the potential judges to, in a simulation, to judge it, to see if they understand the criteria that they're judging under and that sort of thing. Yeah. So they've come out of the Groovy Monarch list. The Soca Monarch list came out a couple of days ago. So the Soca Monarch list, the Groovy Monarch list for the semifinals, and those activities are coming up. And again, you have the different Calypso tents. They will be in operation starting in St. Paul's tonight. Yeah, I feel like going there. Yeah, I'll be in St. Paul's tonight. Line all you know where I'll go be. I'll be me, Sheldon Scott. I'll be in St. Paul's tonight at the Chero's tent there while they're judging. So that's from 8 p.m. until. They didn't put an end date. So that's only $10. So that's taking place tonight. Thursday, you're going to Roots. That's in Malmont Big Yard, St. David's is my place. 8 p.m. So that's in the Malmont Big Yard, Roots Kaiso tent. So that'll be taking place on Thursday from 8 p.m. Friday,
Dragons Bay.
Zingo and the crew. So the down there is free admission. So watch, go support the bar, support the food, them kind of thing. Go down in Dragons Bay. A lot of people don't know where Dragons Bay is. Go down in Dragons Bay. No, this is not something from, what they call it, Game of Thrones. No, this is a different Dragons Bay from the one in Game of Thrones. All right, so that's the Northwest Brigade. They'll be facing the judges at 8 p.m. in Dragons Bay. And on Saturday.
Look Cinema.
Yeah.
Kaiso Bars. Yeah, I'll be there.
You're walking across to that one?
Yeah.
Guy walking distance, just walk across there.
Yeah, coming down it's easy, but going up is a...
Oh boy, yeah, I could understand that part.
Kaiso Bars, you have Scholar and these guys who will be facing the judges.
I don't think Beast is competing. I think he's singing, but I don't think he's competing. I don't think he's competing actively. But he should be singing. And then this on a year after the press conference, the minister opened with condolences to the family of Lincoln Bubbler John. It has been, within the last 2 years, we've lost significant numbers of our performers. We've lost, only recently, we lost Bubbler, we've lost Abby recently. We lost Tangla, African Teller, Steffi, Shatariki. We've lost quite a few of our cultural icons within the last couple of years and so. Yeah. And I foresee that some of the tents may be doing something special for each of them. Yes, some of the tents may be doing something special for them. And I expect that during the Dimash Grand Son or the Melody Papetet, that at least something symbolic is done in relation to these artists who have passed to the great beyond. Because you realize now is a time too when many of these artists are getting down in age. They're getting down in age, People who used to be the rage in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s and even the 90s, they're getting down in age right now. So it's something that you'll be hearing over with a typical frequency over a period of time as the art form renews. And while that is happening, the good aspect is that we have the artists like, for instance, the Baraka, who's taking up the mantle. I know that we had this young chap, he got into the Calypso a couple of years ago, Black Adan. He tried Calypso recently as well. We have the Zingo, who I still consider to be a young guy, involved in it as well. You have people like Short Pre, who was doing Calypso recently too. And we hope to see him back on the Calypso stage again because he was wonderful. He did some wonderful, wonderful tunes. I think he placed third one year, was it, Mr. Technical Man? Third? Yeah, I think he placed third in the Calypso in the Dimash Gra one year. I think that's when he sang You Wanna Be a Pastor? Yeah. So he placed third and so on.
Yeah.
So we have young people that have the capability that show that they are able to perform not just in the soca monarch and jump on the stage and sing about rum, jab and joke, but that they can also perform in the Kaiso. We have Killer B, who is a young fella again. Wonderful performer, former Carriacou monarch in soca monarch, groovy, all sorts of things. Excellent artists also there. So the future for Kaiso looks strong. Yeah, you have Young Stunner, the son of our good friend there, Finley Jeffrey. Scholar's son, Young Stunner, who again, very good in the art form. And you have the Junior Calypso coming up as well, the Junior Calypso Semis. That is taking place on Saturday, the 27th of July at the Progress Park. $10 for children, $20 for adults. So that's coming up as well. And the Calypso semifinals, what we call the Melody Papitette. Calypso semifinals is taking place on the 28th of July at the Progress Park, St. Andrew. So we have some activities coming up there. So the Children's Carnival Frolic, and just for those of you who may be outside of Grenada and you're looking to get inside of Grenada in time, the Children's Carnival Frolic and Junior Calypso Finals, that's taking place on the 3rd of August at the National Stadium from 12 noon. The National Carnival Queen Show, that's at the Spice Basket on Thursday, August 8th from 8 p.m. The SMC Groovy Soca Monarch Final, that's taking place on Friday, August 9th at the National Stadium. And let me get the prices for that. Yeah, I'll get all the prices for now. Regular is $60. Regular is $60, $75 at the door, and VIP. Should we say VIP, boy?
Yes, VIP.
VIP is $500.
A lot of people like to go in VIP, and VIP does cock, it does full up.
Yeah, VIP is $500. Yeah. Morning, Miss Coco. Yeah, Miss Coco, I really wanted to see you in the semifinals. Yeah, I really was looking forward to seeing you in the semifinals. But we'll go work on that. All right. The junior and senior panorama. So you're having the junior and senior panorama. Pan, sweet pan. Yeah, everybody go and ram up the pan last year. Make sure you ram it up this year again. Right? Don't only let confusion make you go and look at things and go into things. So next, that will be Saturday, the 10th of August. Yeah, $40. Right? And some people you want to pay $40 to go and listen to Steel Pan.
So
you're getting two shows for $40.
In one, yeah.
You're getting the junior and the senior for only $40, starting 2 p.m. Come on, man. Yeah, come on. Head out to the Steel Pan, man. Support the pan. Yeah? Dimash Gra. Yeah, Dimash Gra night. We know that's going to be at the National Stadium. $45 starting at 8 p.m. Juve and Monday Night Mass in St. George. That is 4 a.m. and 8 p.m. So Juve starts at 4 a.m. in the capital, St. George. Well, that does actually not be the capital because that is Lagoon Road, upper part of Lagoon Road up by that is actually not within the capital. I think the capital is city limits where GBSS Tropicana is there. I think that's the city limits, eh? Yeah, I'll double check. Somebody who know better might tell me. Pageant, of course, Tantine Playing Field. That is taking place on Monday, August the 12th. And, that's strange. Pageant is in Tantine. It's not over in Queens, in the stadium. So pageant is taking place at the Tantine Playing Field on Carnival Monday. No, usually it would take place over there, the parade and So parade of the bands, including bands from all parishes, last lap. That's in St. George on the Tuesday, and then the Saturday after Carnival, Real Steel on the Carnage. So that's where fellas like Paddy and all of them just come out and knock the iron and coppers and all of them, yeah.
Yeah, I was about, let me what is the cutoff time for Juve?
I haven't seen a cutoff time.
4 p.m. I've seen 4 a.m. It starts.
They didn't put cutoff time for any of the activities, huh?
Yeah. You see why I asked that? Because over the years we've continued to have problems when it comes to a cutoff time and the continuation of other parts of the Spice Mass celebration. And so when you have you have Juve basically almost spilling into the afternoon, right? And it definitely is a problem, which, that we need to solve. But I hope the discussion is continuing, because you must have that cutoff time, right, for persons who may be in Juve and getting ready for the evening, the pageant and everything like that. All right.
What I can say is this, and we know he's morning again. What I can say is this though, that to an extent, especially the Juve on Tuesdays can, if not controlled properly, can end up affecting Pretty Mass.
Yeah.
In that, if let's look at the individual who is here visiting and wants to experience as much as possible. Okay, you go to various shows the week before. You've come down to it now. Let's say you're not a Queen Show person, you might go Queen Show, or you may go La Vida Dulce or whatever it is that Killer has that night, or whatever other show it has. The Friday, you hang around, you take a rest and so on, and then Friday night, you're heading out to Soca Groovy Monarch. And after Soca Groovy Monarch and so, on the Saturday, you may make one of the breakfast fetes or whatever it is. You come out to one of the other activities that they are taking place around the island. Into the night time, you pass Panorama, you go to Panorama, evening time into the night. When you finish with that, then you go to one of the white fetes, whether you're going up by Brother Daigo or whether you're coming down into the National Stadium. So whether you're going Marshall or you're going Skinny or whichever one you want to go, to each his own. Some people like to go up there because they say they like the mud. Some people like to go in country. Some people like to go, even though they don't like the mud, they like to be up in the country. Some people like the tongue. There's plenty enough people around at that time for everybody. So no need to quarrel about going up so or coming down so. So after, this is one individual that's going through all of this, and after that individual comes out, remember they hit Soca Monarch, they might have hit Panorama and so on, and they hit one of the white shows the night, body tired, everything. They mightn't go the Marsh Gras, they might go the Marsh Gras, then into Juve, then from that Juve into Pretty Mass, if they play in Pretty Mass, which is difficult, for that little while before you go and play Monday Night Mass, to go into one of the parish Juves and then come back and play Pretty Mass, you feel that person could make that? What human body could make that? You're playing Monday Night Mass, and from Monday Night Mass, you go in a Juve. The next, by the time Monday Night Mass finishing, you're on your way to either St. Patrick, St. John, I think St. Mark has one now, St. David. You're heading to one of those parish Juves. Then by the time you finish there, you're coming down and play Pretty Mass? You feel you could handle that, boy? Yeah,
well,
it's difficult.
It's food for thought.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, folks, that's all the time we have for today.
Cut off time.
Yeah. And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
Love each and every one of you. We should have a guest in studio with us tomorrow. Yes, indeed. So that is all the time we have for today. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
Whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
We are out.
Only the
They say soca artists believe in Obia to win a crown. Answer me. Is this true or is this?
We have done it again in this, the era of greatness, with the biggest white.
We bring the most light.
Watch greatness unfold with Mr. Killer, WeiVybz, and Lava Man, and more of Grenada's best, featuring headliner Marshall Montano and the Monk Band.
We great, absolutely.
Be at the National Cricket Stadium on Saturday, August 10th. Get your tickets now from GoToFed.com and all Sunshine Promotions box offices. The biggest white. It's where greatness lives.
We are the greatest.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Ministry of Agriculture's quarantine unit implements strategies to step up its education campaign for travelers. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Monday, July 15th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. The plant quarantine unit of the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands aims to beef up its awareness campaign to alert travelers about the risk associated with carrying certain types of food, plants and other agricultural items in passenger baggage. Details from Mina Booker, the ministry's public relations officer.
Grenada is looking forward to receiving support to safeguard food and agriculture through the Travelers Don't Pack a Pest program, or DPAP, which is supported by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. The planned quarantine unit of the Ministry of Agriculture is the key negotiating body for the project. This week, the unit hosted a delegation from the program with the aim to develop a signage proposal for funding and implementation at the different ports of entry here. They also toured the facility to identify potential sites for erecting these signs. Dennis Martin, head of the delegation, in making his presentation to members of different departments at the MBIA, said that the organization is closing the loop on raising awareness on how there can be greater control of the number of pests and disease transferred at the points of entry.
And with that increased volume comes an increased risk that travelers take when they unwittingly pack a little bit of that vacation or a little bit of home when they travel. You know, that mango or that orange or banana may harbor some plant pests that could have a devastating effect on the environments and the islands in the Caribbean. And the benefits of this program are pretty much the same whether you're talking about the United States or the Caribbean. And any island in the Caribbean. It's geared towards protecting the agriculture of our countries, the livelihoods of the people that work in agriculture, and also protecting our food supply. We'll be expanding on the domestic side, and as you can see, we're expanding in the international side with Grenada forming a partnership with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and working towards implementation of the program here on the island.
The Travelers Don't Pack a Pest program includes airing a 60-second video and placement of signs at strategic areas in major airports and cruise ship ports, along with the distribution of other public information materials to the traveling public. These program elements deliver a simple message: when you travel, declare agriculture items, don't pack a pest. Plant quarantine officer within the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Mr. Thaddeus Peters, underscored the importance of prevention when it comes to pest and disease management.
Fruits, vegetables, plants and plant products, they are a pathway for the movement of plant pest and disease. And when new disease move into new territories, it can have devastating effect on the local agriculture, the local economy. Lots of people get affected, and we have had a number of historical cases in Grenada. Currently, we are dealing with the citrus greening disease. From the 90s, we would have had the pink mealybug when people would have we lost trade. We had the fruit fly, the West Indian fruit fly. Now we're seeing the worms in the plums. We would have lost that trade to the US. And to regain those markets takes a lot. And by that time, millions of dollars would have been lost to the economy, and a lot of livelihoods would have been affected. So it's important to stress on prevention.
Lenworth Gordon, Marketing and Property Manager at the Grenada Airports Authority, outlined the benefits of the undertaking.
So we're always seeking to raise the level of awareness of the traveling public about the do's and don'ts, and this would just be another one of the initiatives aimed at that overall public awareness, so that when passengers, transit the airport, they abide by the rules and regulations. And definitely no one really wants pests to be transiting the borders, whether it's to the USA or here. So overall, it's a good initiative to raise public awareness about the dangers of packing pests in your luggage.
The program has supported more than 50 ports of entry where signs and/or videos are displayed. The Travelers Don't Pack a Pest program is designed to raise public awareness about the risks associated with passengers potentially introducing pest and disease into Grenada, the United States, and the Caribbean region by carrying agricultural and food items in their luggage when they travel. For the Ministry of Agriculture's Public Relations Unit, I am Mina Buka.
Grenada has assumed the chairmanship of the Organization of American States Permanent Council with a commitment to working with member states to build consensus through good faith and dialogue. Ms. Yolande Smith, permanent representative of Grenada to the OAS, pointed to the importance of a two-way communication on the road to consensus building. During the recent handover ceremony, Ms. Smith said her delegation is committed to the principles enshrined in the Charter of the OAS, in particular Article 3. She said it is their collective responsibility as members of the organization to ensure it lives up to the tenets of its charter, in an atmosphere of respect for the sovereign rights of member states, small and large. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world, followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Welcome back. Youth parliamentarians had their say on the Electronic Crimes Act of 2013 and the Electronic Crimes Amendment Act of 2014 at the sitting of the National Youth Parliament, which marks the final in a series of youth parliamentary sittings. The act seeks to provide for the prevention of and punishment for electronic crimes. Here are some highlights of the sitting, which was held on Friday.
The government firmly believes that the act will deter persons from engaging in malicious activities online, such as identity theft, electronic forgery, electronic terrorism, and misuse of encryption.
The people's right to have their innocence intact until due process is given, not considered. It is important, Mr. Speaker, that the law is clear, precise, and certain. Is it that in desperation to address the issues of putting measures in place to curb what is dubbed as modern crimes, exacerbated by technology, that we are trampling underfoot our people's entitlements?
Education is important, and we're saying amend and educate our people as it relates to this bill, because Grenadians are a set of people with phonetic, and that simply means we don't have ethics when it comes to food. Somebody dying, picture. Somebody hurting, picture. And what we're saying, Mr. Speaker, as an opposition, take your time, amend, and educate.
I understand why the government may have felt compelled to make changes to the legislation, but removing this section completely was not feasible. Grenada is not the only country in the region, Mr. Speaker, with an Electronic Crimes Act. And we are certainly not the only one that face criticism and backlash for taking such a step and implementing such a legislation.
And finally, in related news, Grenada's most outstanding youth parliamentarian in the January youth parliamentary sitting will represent the country in the 44th Regional Conference of the Caribbean in the Americas and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, the CPA. Nealon Franklin will accompany Government Senator Keisha Williams and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Michael Pear. He says it provides an opportunity for the voice of the youth to be heard on global issues.
I will be attending the 44th Regional Conference of the Caribbean, the Americas and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. I will be participating in the 15th Regional Youth Parliament as a member of the opposition. The topic to be debated is surrounding border security. I think the topic is timely and important, taking into consideration what's going on in the region and around the world as it relates to migration and people moving for different reasons, whether it be social or political crises, etc.
Franklin is confident that involvement in initiatives like these will be beneficial in the long run.
I think it is important for young people to participate in activities like these because what it does is give government and government officials an idea as to the youth perspective on a lot of issues facing that the country is facing and young people are facing. We often hear people say the youth is the future. We are the ones to take up the mantle after the older folks leave, and now we have an opportunity where we can show or prove ourselves to the older folks that, okay, we are ready. We understand what's going on. We appreciate what's going on. And we believe that we are ready. I would encourage as much young people throughout the tri-island state to participate in these activities.
The conference, which has been held in Trinidad, will conclude on July 19th. That story just ended the national report for today, Monday, July 15th. Let's recap the top story. Ministry of Agriculture's quarantine unit implements strategies to step up its education campaign for travelers. On behalf of everyone here at the Government Information Service who made this newscast possible, I'm Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Approximately US $9.5 million in scholarships were awarded by the government of Grenada in partnership with the St. George's University, as 80 bright minds now focus on the task of getting an education instead of worrying about how to pay for their bachelor's and master's degrees. 80 recipients were awarded at a recent ceremony on Thursday, May 1st at the Grenada Youth Center in Montrouge, St. George. These awards were for island scholarships and scholarships to various programs at the St. George's University, SGU. Annette Moore has the details.
Approximately US $9.5 million in scholarships were awarded by the government of Grenada in partnership with the St. George's University to 80 ambitious young people who can now focus on the task of getting an education instead of worrying about how to pay for their various degree programs.
My name is Samit Mitchell. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in the field of sociology, and the award I received today is full scholarship to further my education.
My name is Kelly Callis. I was a recipient of an award to pursue medicine at the St. George's University that commenced actually in January of 2019. Coming from poor, humble beginnings like myself, there is no way myself or my family could have assisted me in financing a medical degree. So the assistance that is presented here today to myself and all the other recipients of the varying awards and so forth, of course you go a very, very long way in different costs.
You worked real hard and you
know exactly what you want and need. So believe and you will never give up. You can reach your goals. Just talk to your soul and say, I believe I can, I believe I will, I believe I know my dreams are real. I believe I'll stand, I believe I'll dance, I believe I'll grow real soon. And that is what I do believe.
We place great importance in the development of our human capital as a key element for our development agenda. As we continue our journey of economic and social transformation, we aim to equip our people, you, our awardees, with the right skills and the capabilities needed, not just for today, but for the future as well.
It's really helpful because I know if I had not received the award, I probably would have to work several years to study. But this award is definitely going to help me advance my academic and career goals.
The 80 recipients were awarded at a recent ceremony on Thursday, May 1st, 2019, at the Grenada Youth Center in Montrouge, St. George. These awards were for island scholarships and scholarships to various programs at the St. George's University.
It is my ambition to pursue a degree in law. I want to specialize in international law because I feel that it's very relevant to today's society.
So my name is Nick Nicholas. I come from the parish of St. Patrick's, specifically Moncraven St. Patrick's. This is my first year in SU. It's my first semester. I'm doing information technology.
We really do believe that we need to be promoting and exposing the positives in our society. Very often we hear, the negatives. And sitting before us this morning is a group of intelligent young people who have taken the bold step to go on to improve themselves, improve their lives, improve their country by virtue of the skills and talents they will acquire during their period of study.
The awards to SGU included 5 for pre-medicine, 24 in the field of medicine, 1 for veterinary medicine, and 2 for the Masters in Public Health degree.
As a child growing up, I always figured I want to pursue a career in medicine. So when the opportunity presented itself in 2016 to move on from teaching, I first pursued a degree in biology at the same St. George's University in 2.5 years. And then I was lucky to receive an award to go to the medical field.
My name is Toya Midi. I'm 19 years old and I'm currently enrolled in the pre-medical science program at SGU. And today I received the Island Scholarship. I always had that passion, that interest in medicine. Hopefully in the future, I'll become a surgeon, probably cardio.
In the Arts and Sciences division, awards for bachelor degree programs were presented as follows: 3 for Accounting and Finance, 8 for Biology, 10 for Information Technology, 4 each for International Business and Psychology, and 1 each for Tourism and Hospitality Management, Sociology, and Management.
Interested in what IT has to bring and what SU has to bring to the table in terms of IT.
There were 11 award recipients for nursing.
I am Shanique Strawn and I am doing the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at the St. George's University. I've just completed my first semester of my second year. I have always wanted to be a nurse. The nursing program itself, it's very, very good. It's very detailed. It's outstanding. The lecturers are fantastic. My future goal is to be a nurse practitioner. I'm not sure if I want to be like a family practice or pediatrics or so on. But that is the route I'm going because the country, we need a nurse practitioner or two. Yeah.
Apart from this, there were 6 Island Scholars awarded.
My name is Trevon St. Bernard. I just finished, as of last year, the T. Marisho Community College. I received the Grenada Island Scholarship for the Department of Humanities.
It's a great honor as well to receive the scholarship to aid in, helping my mom pay for my education.
My heartfelt congratulations to all of you awardees here today. I also acknowledge the presence of your families, your teachers, friends, and applaud them for all of their support to you and the role that they have been playing in developing you and getting you to this point of your life. We are recognizing your outstanding academic achievements and your potential really to contribute more to our country's development.
The Permanent Secretary for Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, Jacinta Joseph, thanked the National Training Awards Selection Committee.
Mrs. Antoine and David Antoine, Chair, Mr. Vicar Ashby, Deputy Chair, and other members of the National Training Award Selection Committee, a hearty welcome to you. It is always good to have you here with us to witness the presentation of the awards to the students who you have found to be most eligible.
Both the Permanent Secretary and the Minister with responsibility for tertiary education, human resource development and education outreach, Honorable Pamela Moses, extended appreciation to the St. George's University.
On behalf of the government and the people of Grenada, I extend grateful thanks and appreciation to St. George's University for the long and enduring partnership that they've had with our government, the government of Grenada. And through these awards and other initiatives of theirs, they have contributed significantly to our development agenda.
The minister also congratulated recipients and outlined an additional scholarship award requirement.
We will formalize a structure whereby you'll be called to undertake community service type activities during the school summer vacation as a way of giving back in small measure to all the millions of dollars that has been invested in you. The activity undertaken by you can be of your choice somewhat, that benefits not just you, but the wider community.
I made sure I had to do my absolute best to keep my GPA above a certain standard in order to apply and get through with the scholarship. And with this scholarship now, I know I'm bound to the government for a few years, which is good because I want to give back.
I'm just too grateful for the government of Grenada for seeing it fit to bestow such on us as recipients today.
It was a happy moment because for me it takes away a big burden off my back because I'm a mother of 3 children and studying at this time will be very difficult if you don't have the finance, so I'm very grateful.
From the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, we wish you all the best in your journey to be great leaders of this country. And we look forward to you serving this nation at the end of it all with pride.
I always see myself as someone who likes to give back to humanity, and I would have done so while I was a teacher, but I wanted that other avenue which I can do the same thing, but in a different way in terms of helping to save lives and to restore health to people.
The government contributing to this is just huge. It's very much appreciated.
Just really hoping to pay back, you know, for the investment they made in me. If my mom and dad is watching, I guess you guys are proud now. I'm on TV.
To people and mainly young people out there, sometimes the road to success is not easy. You will encounter a lot of bumps along the way, but I would say to you, never give up on your dreams. Go hard, go after it.
For State of Affairs, I'm Annette Moore.
With the outstanding performances of the nation's swimmers, with over 4 OECS championships to boast, government has made a significant investment to the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association in realizing its dream to construct an aquatic center. Despite the limitations at the Good Hope swimming pool, Grenada continues to turn out medal winners at just about every tournament it enters. The Grenada Amateur Swimming Association GASA has for years made the best use of the facilities to train swimmers, producing national swim team that has won the OECS Swimming Championships on numerous occasions. Now, government through the Ministry of Sports wants to ensure that swimmers have a top-class facility they can call their own. It has vested a portion of lands at Queen's Park to the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association to construct an aquatic center. Now that the property adjacent to the National Stadium has officially been vested in the name of the association, the executive is moving forward with the support of the government of Grenada and the Grenada Olympic Committee and other key stakeholders for the realization of this plan. The establishment of a national aquatic facility in Grenada will serve athletes beyond those directly involved in competitive swimming. The cross-training of athletes to improve their core sportability is an increase in practice, and the use of swimming for this purpose is one of the key areas.
I'm just happy to say at this stage that GASA has made good progress in terms of advancing the development of an aquatic center. You would be hearing more about this in the upcoming weeks, but we are happy that we can say, with the presence of the strong presence of the government representative here today, we have the Minister for Sport with us, accompanied by the parliamentary representative, and they have been working hard behind the scene, and they have ensured jointly that GASA now has a land vested in its hands for the development of an aquatic center.
That's Ms. Perron Johnson, President of the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association. GASA recently engaged a team of key stakeholders, including the Grenada Olympic Committee, ministry officials and private sector representatives for an initial engagement meeting with a FINA-approved pool design and engineering company. General Secretary of the Grenada Olympic Committee, Vida Bruno Victor, says having the lands means their dream can become reality.
Now, there is a main thing that we are going to support with, and that is the construction of your new aquatic headquarters. I have taken to our Pan Am Sports Executive Board the plans, and thank God that government had given them the land. Let's commend government. Let's give them a round of applause. Because the first question I was asked is, who does the land belong to? So the fact that the land is theirs, we have sent it off to the Pan Am Executive Board, and they're going to be meeting very soon to hold discussions, and I've spoken with Dr. Maglione, the president of FINA, who is my personal friend, and I hope that he is going to comply nicely with the construction of the aquatic headquarters. Of course, government cannot do a lot of things on their own. Neither can the Olympic Committee. But if we all, neither can Sanders, but if we all work together, we can get things done.
Sports Minister Honorable Nolan Cox reiterated his government's commitment to the development of all sports and pledged his support to further development of swimming.
Every development, every advancement of the swimmers, we must attribute some credit to the persons who spend time day after day teaching them the various skills, the various techniques, not only for them to swim fast, but also for them to swim safe. I think that is something that we need to recognize, and we want to thank them for that as well. We want to congratulate all stakeholders, all persons who have contributed to development swimming in Grenada, and to ensure that they continue to do so. Now, when I heard how much figures have been calling out in terms of contribution to swimming, I was like, I didn't think I have any figures to call out in my mind. Then I remember that we gave a valuable piece of asset. We invest that into GASA, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And just say that we are proud as government to be part and to be partner in this process. And I say here unequivocally that any support that GASA requires, we are going to do everything we can to ensure that we meet those requests.
Tobias Clement, Member of Parliament, also spoke of the importance to have an aquatic centre and what it will mean for the further development of the sport.
And today, I can say again that I am proud of swimming in Grenada because of you, the parents, you, the corporate citizen, and let us continue to work together to move from strength to strength so that our swimmers can continue to be recognized throughout the world, and so by doing, also our country and our people.
GASA President says it has been a long road ahead.
Indeed, we are grateful. As you would have heard, the General Secretary of the Olympic Committee announced the progress made in terms of moving forward with the aquatic center. In fact, as she indicated, this is the furthest that we have gotten in terms of moving the process forward. In that, from GASA end, we have obtained a number of designs proposals, and we have since selected the option that we think is most fitted for the proposed area to be developed. And through the GOC, they have then submitting the said document to a proposed financer, and she had indicated that it is via the Pan Am Sport Organization.
She says now that the lands is officially in their hands, they are looking towards corporate sponsors to realize the completion of the project.
Sanders did indicate that it is a development that they will be very much interested in terms of partnership with. We have also gotten some other corporate sponsors indicating their interest. So we are in the process now of actually fine-tuning all of these pledges to ensure that these pledges are actually reality.
What sort of sum are we looking at?
In terms of the actual pool construction only, we are roughly looking at $3 million EC dollars. But however, I'm sorry, I do not have the other supporting infrastructural costs with me at the moment.
I am Sherry and Noel, and that's the state of affairs. Unemployment within the St. Andrew Parish stands to be reduced further when Renegade Rum Distillery becomes operational in the coming months. Work is progressing according to plan, and recently Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell was given a detailed tour of the plant in conference. Rikisha St. Louis was there and filed the special State of Affairs feature.
Nestled in the rural community of Conference St. Andrew, standing tall between the trees, is a development that has already begun to transform Grenada's economy, creating employment for young and old, boosting small business activities, and developing the road network within the community. Renegade Rum Distilleries not only promises to brew and bottle premium rum, but also to create a rum that will attract international markets and revenue to our shores. The sod was turned in August 2018 and construction commenced in a matter of weeks, 10 months later, and already there is evidence of how this big dream will benefit the small community.
This has enormous impact on the country, and it's a way of, to another part of it, the diversification of our economy. That's a major component of this. It's also an impact on rural development, because that project, if it was in St. George's, would not have had the impact that it is having on the country's face as having it here in St. Andrew. So there's so much win for this country.
We can see the progress and how it is going, and it's just an anticipation towards the end of what is happening. Moreover, what is good for us in the constituency is the level of development that is taking place, and it's bringing about the benefits for our people. We have direct benefits, we have the indirect benefits. If on your way here you would have seen the expansion of the road structure, the drain construction, and so you see the amount of businesses, the small businesses that were established as a result of this project, the number of persons who got employed in the construction phase, as well as who are employed now with Carriacou. I'm just happy for this level of investment in St. Andrew Northeast.
Prime Minister Mitchell, the parliamentary representative, and their team recently toured the facility to see firsthand its progress and the impact on the community. Unemployment has reduced significantly in the constituency and neighbouring areas, as more than 100 individuals are employed in the construction phase, with hopes of more gaining employment on completion of the factory.
From our end, from Renegade end, we have a young team of staff already, permanent employers already. We employ people to be process operators. The process operators will be the person actually going to the plant, testing different parameters as related to wastewater treatment, the cleaning processes, the yeast treatment, the fermentation and so. We also have the boiler operators on staff already working with the company that we bought the boiler from and installing it. We have the mill operators here already also, and we have the maintenance team here already, and we have the distillers. I mean, one thing, the distillers will be working here basically to do the distill the products and controlling the quality and efficiency of the product that we intend to produce. we could boast and say that we have an all-female distillation team. It's the first of its kind.
By the time the project complete, we have to do about 600 acres of cane. We're not even halfway there yet. We assume that we will have maybe 200-300 workers by the time and that's just field workers and stuff like that, by the time the project is completed.
The impact it's having on unemployment in the country, the number of people that are working already, an impressive amount of young Grenadians, skilled people, chemists, young people who probably will not, having gone to university and trained in a specific area, would not have had the opportunity to be able to use their skills. And you can see on their faces the happiness and the brightness of their faces. It's a very exciting thing for the country.
Renegade Rum has increased the production of sugarcane on island through its cultivation company Carriacou. Lands have been leased and cultivated in other rural parts of the country, namely Plains, River and Twine, Westerhall, Bacolet, La Colombe, Dunfermline and Hope.
Projects like these normally start and fall apart, and people, have certain level of uncertainty when it comes to, putting the eggs in the basket. However, with the commencement of the factory and we ourselves doing large quantity of cane, a lot of people are now coming, forward and saying, hang on, we have some lands and we don't know if you would, like it or, if you'd want it to lease, and, in a lot of cases people are offering us lands to buy. We're not buying land, we're just leasing the lands. And people who have lands and want to, let us cultivate the lands for you, we pay $1,000 per acre per annum. And initially we want the land just for 5 years. After 5 years, we should recover the costs that we pay to cultivate those lands. And then you can have back your lands well cultivated.
The large-scale cultivation of sugarcane, according to Prime Minister Mitchell, is a boost to the agricultural sector and economic earnings. He reminisced on the historical structure of areas that were mainly agricultural lands. Dr. Mitchell is pleased that the distillery has found a way to combine agriculture and tourism.
This is a real formula that demonstrated marriage and the importance of it for the country's development, and of course impact on our export earnings, impact on economic activity in the country as a whole, and of course all the things that are coming, the ancillary activities with this Pearls area, this section of the country, historically used to be agriculture estate. The estate is gone, and the estate gone, many of it have been cut up into small pieces. A lot of opportunity for job potential were lost, and with that, the poverty increases in that in the area. I know the parliamentary representative must be extremely happy. The pressure on her would be lifted considerably so, because a lot of people will be doing different things.
Although the factory is not complete, work has already started on installing the equipment so that capacity building training can start before the actual production begins.
We walked through the 4 buildings. The utility building, let's say 40-50% complete, but the still house, another 40-50% complete. The brew house, which is to the extreme right, let's say 20%, but this is about 80-90% complete. But however, what I must say is that what is left to be done will be much faster than, because just to put up the cladding, put up the roofs and so on. So you'll see that that second phase, what has to be completed, will be much faster and a shorter and much faster than actually what was done already.
As the distillery continues to expand in structure, so too is the target of obtaining over 600 acres of land for cultivation. Harvesting has already begun, but not for production, since the factory is not yet in operation. However, hopes are high that within the next 3 months, another batch of cane will be harvested, this time for brewing. For State of Affairs, I am Rakisha St. Louis.
Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives has initiated an outreach program with the business community to foster a closer relationship, with the hope that it will enable them to have a better understanding of their needs and concerns. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Cooperatives and CARICOM Affairs has begun an initiative that seeks to address the concerns of the business community, the aim being to develop a more harmonious working relationship. The ministry, which is headed by Honorable Oliver Joseph, recently embarked on an outreach program with this objective in mind. The first such outreach program began with a tour of businesses at the industrial park of the frequency-based Grenada Investment Development Corporation. Minister Joseph said it is the start of a process to get a feel for the needs and concerns of the business community.
Businesses located in this area, to hear their concerns, to tell them what government plans are. So it's an interaction that the ministry plans starting here in this industrial park. I will be going right throughout the entire island, meeting with businesses.
Is this the first of its kind?
Yes, this is the first one. So we wanted to start here where you have this cluster of business because it's easy to get to them, and they are looking forward to the visit. Actually, they would like to meet with the minister and his team to discuss, any issues they have and to hear from them as well. So we start here today, and as I said, the program will take us throughout the island to meet with all businesses. Yes, well, based on the suggestion, we will develop a plan that will address some of the issues that they've raised. So really, when we hear the concerns and what they want to see, the ministry will then sit down and put a plan together, send it back to them and call them to a consultation so that before the next budget in November. So we started early because we want to have a plan before the next budget. That's the target date, to visit all the businesses before November so that budget time we can report and what are the, or recommend this from them, what kind of support measures they need that could go into the budget.
There are 45 tenants in the Frequency Industrial Park. Chief Executive Officer of the GIDC, Ronald Theodore, is commending government for the initiative, which he says will help stimulate discussion that will aid in future decisions.
The industrial parks continue to be a significant asset to GIDC. So located in this park, we have the Frequency Industrial Park, the Simon Industrial Park, and St. Patrick's. So I mentioned we have 45 tenants. This park is of 19 acres of land, right? And in terms of the buildings, the largest building we have is about 33,000 square feet of space. And so in terms of the businesses, we have a wide range of businesses within the park, from manufacturing to the call center, BPO type operations, to storage, persons doing storage and so. So yes, the park continues to be on our major revenue basis, and we continue to maintain. For 2019, we want to continue to maintain the park to standard because it does contribute significantly to GIDC. Okay, well, it's good to collaborate. Working together works, right? GIDC is not in this alone. All the businesses that are in here, we want to make sure that they grow from strength to strength. So we want to make sure that these businesses become more export ready. And most of the assistance are provided by trade and so forth. It all go well to those businesses in terms of making them become more export ready. And so we do see the outreach like this today as an important one, and we want to see more of this happening.
The businesses visited on the first leg of the outreach program included Spice Island Coffee, Longdon Windows, Arawak Island, St. Lou Metal, and Nabila. General Manager of Nabila, Larry Carter, says the company, which began at the Simon Industrial Park, has been based at the Frequency Industrial Park for the past 15 years, during which time the GIDC and the government gave tremendous support to its growth and development.
I would like to say thanks to the Minister, Minister Joseph, for representing the government and for passing through the park, because I think this area is one of the areas that is key to the manufacturing industry. As part of a manufacturing company, I would like to say to him, it's important for us to look at the manufacturing industry because it's a little weak at the moment, and export it should be a viable something, but at this point we cannot export. It's difficult to compete with places like Trinidad, where we purchase our raw material, and so it's quite challenging for us to compete with Trinidad and those places. But we would like to see some form of protection for our business, because the retailers are able to compete with us as a manufacturer. So in that regard, we would like to see some kind of a protection In other words, the quantities of items coming in, maybe there should be a cap on it. So that in that regard, this is our concern.
Minister Joseph used the opportunity to remind him that government is a signatory to the treaty among CARICOM states and as such cannot place restrictions.
We have free trade agreement. CARICOM is total free trade. We cannot have any tariff-free quota or any quantitative restriction in CARICOM. And therefore, that is because we signed up to a treaty to allow that among CARICOM member states. Extra-regionally, the only how we could put any restriction on any product, it has to be for SPS reasons, sanitary and phytosanitary. It cannot be because of cost or price. Under the trade rules, you can't do that. So I would say, while we want to see export grow, if it's difficult to get, if there is any technical barriers to your trade in the next CARICOM member state, that we could deal with. If they put in technical barriers, we can address that. In the absence of that, it is a free trade with CARICOM. But if there is any other support that you think government could give to you to enable you to compete more in the local market, to get better market share, we're prepared to look at that, at competing locally. If anything else, we could advance to you.
Another business visited was St. Lou Metal, where General Manager Andy Hostin says the improved economic climate in Grenada over the years has worked well for his business and others.
Manufacture windows and doors for both quality, aluminum quality and UPVC quality. Basically, the UPVC is more for like the salted areas in Grenada. The aluminum is basically for more the inland windows to be used and stuff. So we created like from the most affordable to the most expensive windows, basically, which is quality. The response is really good because what happened, like people who want the more higher class windows in perspective of UPVC wasn't available before, but now it's available, and so instead of having to import the UPVC windows, they could get it right in Grenada, which would make it much easier for them and is actually more affordable too.
The relationship with your businesses and the GIDC?
Well, GIDC has been very, very, very supportive and very helpful in many, many ways, especially in assistance in many fields. If I got to go in it is a lot, but GIDC has been very supportive.
Based on the suggestions raised by the business owners, Minister Joseph says an assessment will be done by his team. A plan will then be developed to address their concerns, and it will be shared with the business community for review before a general consultation is held. I am Sherry Ann Noel, and that's the state of affairs. "54 farmers are now part of the Silver Sands Grenrop Farmers Program, an initiative that began in March of 2017 with the objective of reducing the quantity of produce imported in the island for use at the resort. The Silver Sands Farmers Program, a joint venture between the Silver Sands Hotel and Grenrop, which began with 35 farmers in March of 2017, has now increased to 54 farmers. Culinary Director at the Silver Sands Hotel, John Louis Brocardi, is pleased with the progress of the program to date. During a recent visit to some of the farms with the Government Information Service, he reviewed Phase 1 that included farmers mainly from the St. Andrew Parish.
Well, we kept on pushing in St. Andrews and some of the parts of St. David, the higher parts in St. David's. St. Andrews has progressed quite a lot. We've been steadily purchasing from them now for the past month and a half to 2 months, actually, since about September. As of now, we're buying about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of produce a week from those farmers, which is good. We still need to push because we had rain, strong rains a few weeks ago, so we lost some crops like zucchini, yellow squashes, tomatoes. So we're replanting that. I think it's part of the trial and error, see what we need to do and where we need to improve. Building greenhouses is the next step, maybe, or protect some kind of protection for the crops to survive those kind of bad weather.
The unpredictable weather pattern is proven to be a challenge. Despite that factor, however, since the commencement of the program, a variety of crops have been introduced to the farmers.
Some great purple pepper, green peppers. We're starting to have zucchinis that are looking good. They taste great. I've sampled them in the past. Very, very, very nice. The seedling farms, the seedling farm that we have up in St. Patrick is doing great and is ready to put out for the next batch of crops now. And this is about where we stand, and we're happy. I mean, it's a learning process for all of us. We're trying to help the farmers through Teresa Marichard to understand the process, what we expect. Again, it's there's the Grenadian ways, and then what I expect. So we try to meet somewhere in the middle and make it happen. So
What are some of the other new seedlings that you've introduced? I know you had the tomatoes and so in St. Andrew. These peppers here, are they what you introduced as well?
Well, the peppers they were doing peppers in Grenada, doing green peppers. Obviously, for a restaurant, you have the presentation aspect. So we're looking at purple, yellow, red peppers. So we're pushing in that way as well. The melons and the watermelons, we're trying to do colored watermelon, like yellow watermelon, orange watermelons. Just again, variety and the visual aspect on breakfast buffets. We're trying to do and pushing a lot on seedless watermelons as well. Because again, customers, they come and they don't like seeds in their watermelons. It's, I guess I can't blame it, because my kids, if I give them raisins or watermelon with seeds, they won't eat them either, because they think that they come without seed. That's a natural thing, which is not. So we're trying to push in that. Tomatoes were doing good. Again, the rain affected it last time, and right now we're actually we are gearing back up. So we've done a lot of trials over the past 12 to 14 months, and we overproduced at one point where we didn't know what to do with it, and we had a lot of waste, and we gave some away, and obviously we stopped producing because it wasn't, have the farmers walking and trying to not sell. It's not fair to them. It's not.
Raul Phillip of Point Estate St. Patrick, who now farms with his father and brother at Lassages in St. David, welcomes the initiative of the Silver Sands. He believes this will provide a ready market for their produce after they have toiled tirelessly under the elements of the weather.
Well, what I go say, is a good enough for all the farmers in Grenada, even including me, understand? Because it come like a big help, you understand? Because enough times we just be planting enough things and all us be spoiling, you understand? So more hotels and more places, good for the farmers, so we could sell the produce, we don't have that big set of losses.
So exactly what will you be farming for them?
Well, I go be farming watermelon, I go be farming bell pepper, I go be farming tomatoes, sweet potato, and like pumpkin, even sorrel, tomatoes, whatever they want me to grow, I will grow it for them.
How many acres you working with now?
Well, I'm working with 5 acres and some.
Yeah. And now that you're into the Silver Sands Farmers Program, you mentioned the fact that it is your brother, I think your dad, and yourself. Does that mean that you would need to have extra hands?
Well, yeah, it's not a problem, It's not a problem with the extra hands, because like I seed now, I won't try to play greedy and eat everything for myself, you understand? I would like for somebody to eat, Because you have other people who want to do farming, you understand, and they don't get in the opportunity, you understand? So I'm glad for, I'm glad for people to come around and, see what I'm doing, and if they want to join, they could join, and spread the thing bigger, and you all around, you understand?
Lydia Bonaparte, who has been into farming from the age of 25, is also part of the Farmers Program. She spent much of her years working with farmers until she was encouraged to branch off on her own.
Well, when Miss Marichard came on the farm to visit Mr. Peters, and he spoke to her about me, that's how I get involved. And being good, feeling good to be a part of it.
This is your particular land, or is land that identified and given to you to do this?
No, it was government space lands for the farmers. So Mr. Peters, who had a say here, gave me, seeing as I used to work with him, he gave me the permission to do something on my own.
And tell me exactly what it is you're farming here for Silver Sands.
Corn, zucchini, and peppers. And sweet corn, zucchini, squash, and peppers, sweet peppers.
Any challenges encountered in terms of planting?
No.
And this particular peppers, is it the first time you're planting that kind?
The first time I'm planting the purple, yeah.
At Chamfer in St. David, we met up with Brian Hazard, one of the youngest farmers in the program. He had a very interesting theory for getting into farming. a decision he took some 5 years ago.
I find all the old farmers dying out and nobody really taking up the footstep. So I decide, well, as a young man, I'll try and make a difference. Because plenty young people, they're looking to do farming on a whole. I don't know if because they find farming is a lot of hard work. But once you have a love and a passion for farming, it comes easy. Actually, it was a day, well, I think it was a Sunday. Miss my show and all they were searching for people to do farming. So that time I just really start to clear down them trees and them. And they booking me on the project, They give me assistance with pump, irrigation and stuff. That's how I really got involved in the project.
Hazard possesses about 3 acres of land to work with, but is currently utilizing 1.5 acres.
I occupy 1.5 acres. I'm looking to cut down another 1/2 acre to do some bell peppers for the hotel. Bell peppers and Chinese cabbage.
The Silver Sands Farmers Project has received the attention of other resorts on the island, who John Louis says have expressed interest in participating.
I have several chefs from the island, from big entities on the island that have contacted me. One a couple of days ago that is interested in my farmers, in my crops. So I think, I don't want to give all my crops away. And that's why I do what I do, because I want to be exclusive in some produce. But at the same time, I think it's great for farmers that we're actually gaining their confidence again, and that they're confident enough to produce more. So if other chefs can beneficiate from that, the farmers and the economy will beneficiate as well in Grenada, because the more they produce, the better they do, and the more facilities we'll be able to provide them with. And I think one of the next steps, the crucial step, is distribution, which is a lacking factor right now in Grenada, where we need to find or get a truck and really have a way to distribute the produce rather than have one person going around the farm and collecting what we need.
John Louis Brocardi says the Silver Sands plans to further expand the program. I am Sharia Noel, and that's the state of affairs. Ministry of Youth Development continue to create programs that is geared towards the development of young people, the latest being the FLY project, fostering level-headed youth. June Paul shares more in this report.
Joseph Sugarman, author of the bestseller Success Forces, once said, "The greatest success stories were created by people who recognized a problem and turned it into an opportunity." This is testament of the many opportunities afforded through the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture, and the Arts, which has been mandated to lead the implementation of youth projects and programs to enhance the lives of young people, helping them to develop into financially independent, positive, and productive adults. One of the programs is called Fostering Level-Headed Youth Program, or FLY. It is an integrated skills training program aimed at responding to challenges of youth unemployment and the lack of employable skills at the community level. Project Officer Johnny Calist provided an insight on the 6th version of FLY and the areas covered during training.
FLY is community-based, first of all. So FLY, the delivery of Project FLY, as much as possible, happens within the community. So that is why the life skills for St. David's happened at the Lassages Natural Works, and the life skills for St. John's happens at the Black Bay Church of Christ. So we started with life skills for 1 month, and I'm sure everyone would attest to the fact that life skills was an awesome period where persons got the opportunity to learn about themselves, a lot of things about themselves. I know they would have covered topics such as emotional intelligence, self-esteem, preparing for the work, etc. And I know everyone would have enjoyed the life skills. And then we moved on to the skills training, TVET skills training. And though this training was not certified because of the period in which it ran, I must say it was a very good skills training. And unlike past FLY, we did not offer just one training opportunity, we offered two. So we offered bar and restaurant service and facilities maintenance.
Having received 2 months of training in the area of restaurant services, the skills of the 25 residents of St. John were tested during a practical session in bartending and waitressing held at the New Life organization NULO on February 1st, 2018. The idea was to ensure they are both competent and ready for the job market. Many spoke of their experience during the training and their future plans.
On the first day coming to class, I didn't know what to expect, but I participated.
It was a useful learning experience, I could say. Time was never wasted. I may not be perfect, but I learned a lot and worked on some of my flaws. I've learned things like setting the table, napkin folding, handling dishes, and knowing the types of cutleries.
My main objective was to be educated and experience how bartending was done.
I have gained some confidence, patience. I'm a good team player now. I'm more aware of myself, what I want to do, what I want to achieve. I'm excited to use what I've learned towards achieving my goals and to be the best version of myself no matter where I go. This experience was rewarding. I'm happy that I took part and took the opportunity to join the FLY program. Thank you.
During the course of both restaurant and bar services I took last November to this January, which include waiter, waitress, and bartending, I've accomplished a variety of goals I once thought were unachievable. I felt that through my experience of these restaurant and bar services courses, I have gained some understanding and confidence it takes to step out into the real world.
Special awards were presented to outstanding participants who demonstrated a level of understanding in restaurant and bar services. The 2018 cohort of Project Fly ended with an emulation ceremony which brought the curtains down on 3 months of training for 50 residents of St. John and St. David respectively. Acting Coordinator of Youth, Royden Bihari, spoke of the responsibility of the Ministry of Youth and congratulated the young men and women on their efforts.
I want to especially acknowledge all the participants for your commitment to this training in life skills, community service, and skills training in facility maintenance and restaurant and bar services. You have now joined other youths from St. Patrick's, St. George's, St. Mark's, who have completed their tenure in Project Fly, and more young leaders will soon attend the same training. The ministry envisions producing young leaders through such empowerment and capacity building projects and training to inspire youth to meet the challenges around us, to identify you so that you can effectively go out and lead in your communities.
An elected minister, Honorable Kate Lewis, said the skills acquired through the FLY program is the gateway to other opportunities and should create a lasting impact on the individual lives and communities.
You are now more empowered to improve your quality of life and that of your family and your community. You are now better equipped to make a lasting positive impact on the development of your community and your country on a whole.
Parliamentary Representative for St. David, Honorable Oliver Joseph, said the training is necessary to maximize one's full potential.
It is important to have our people trained and certified so that they can take their rightful place in society. Society keeps evolving, and we have to train our young people to deal with this evolving society. So we need to have people trained in order to deal with all these new challenges. And I'm pleased with the turnout from St. David, the number of young people that came forward and said they wanted to be trained. Because that is where it must start. It must start with you as the individual responding to the call.
Alvin Dabrio, Parliamentary Representative for the constituency of St. John, commended the participants in accepting the call to acquire knowledge and developing their skill sets.
There is no greater feeling of accomplishment than seeing our young men and women excel and develop personally, socially, academically, and professionally. You are now armored with knowledge that will make the battle of your daily lives easier, which will also help in combating unemployment.
Training facilitator at NULO, Mr. Shelley Belfon-Frank, shared her experience with the participants despite the short stint of the program.
And it was a very exciting bunch of young people. And what you find is that you have these persons who are very eager to be trained, who are ready to build a career. Some of them came in and they really didn't, know what they was getting into in terms of hospitality training, restaurant and bar service.
Being confident in the participants, she added that the hands-on training and experience they received will propel them to excellence.
I think they are very prepared. Why? Because they have been given the basics. And if you think about a kindergarten child, if that child doesn't have a good foundation, when they go out into the primary and onwards, they would be left behind to a certain extent. So I really believe in giving a strong foundation, and they did get that. So what they need now is just the experience to develop their knowledge.
Bob Holder, a resident of St. John, and Bernadette Charles Douglas from St. David were both recognized as the most outstanding participants during the life skills training. Meanwhile, Anton Redhead, a resident of St. David, received an award for his outstanding performance in the area of facilities maintenance. In the area of restaurant and bar services, Elon James of St. John and Lydia Charles Douglas from St. David emerged as outstanding participants. Certificates of completion were presented to each participant. They all expressed their gratitude and shared their experiences during life skills, their hands-on practical training sessions, and the way forward as they continue on life's journey.
And it was a good experience. I learned a lot, and I learned certain things that changed my life a little. Well, it's a little about electrical, plumbing, a little bit of construction, and different things in managing a building. Well, yeah. It was a nice experience. I wish you could have give us more time.
My experience under the flight program was very challenging at times. I get to meet people with different mindsets, especially those who didn't know how to work as a team. But we all came together by experiencing our challenges. We came together by sharing our background, by sharing our problems and getting it solved, and becoming friends and family at the end. It was a wonderful time together.
Ambitious of becoming a tile layer, Shawnette Grenade says the training she received was excellent.
I like general maintenance because I wanted to do tiling. Yes, I really wanted to do tiling, and I learned how to measure, how to use hand saws and electric tools.
Training was a very nice experience. We had a couple of ups and downs, but we had wonderful facilitators. So when we have a problem, we could go to them to help out with the situation. And I love the kitchen, that's my passion.
Most outstanding male participant in the restaurant and bar services category, Elon James, says what stood out for him was the fact that there was more to restaurant services than just serving food and drinks.
And it's been a pleasure to be a part of this class. I've learned so many things. I've grown personally as an individual. I've grown so much, being taught something I never knew anything about. And the idea of sharing food and making drinks was very great to experience, because my whole life I've been wondering that I've been thinking to myself that bartending is only a serving of food and drinks. And when I got into it, then I realized that it was more to that just sharing food and drinks. So then being a part of that was very great for me, and I'm looking forward to not only keep it to myself but to go outside there and teach it to the youths that are coming up.
Speaking on behalf of his fellow mates, Elon says apart from meeting the expectations, the inspiration received will last a lifetime.
Today we are assembled here to celebrate our amazing success, yes? One we can be cheerful and appreciative at, for we have overcome all the challenges thrown at us over the past 3 months. It was definitely not simple, but we reached the end of the hurdle. It is also the outset of a new journey. I want to invigorate you to use the same spirit that you have shown, the hard sacrifices you have made. This, I tell you, my fellow graduates, is our passport to our next destination in life. We came here with high expectations and also low expectations, but graduating here today says only one thing, that our expectations have been met. As we close this chapter in our life and start a new one, let's give thanks to the people who was there for us throughout the entire period. I will once again quote from my teacher, Mrs. Belfon, and I quote, "We got this. Let's go out there and leave a legacy in this country and the world."
For State of Affairs, I am June Paul reporting.
Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise. Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.